Chapter 1375. The realm of Jin was vast and boundless. The 800 warriors of the desolate tribe and Luo Feng were led by Northern Yen. Sometimes they teleported and sometimes they flew at high speed. Just on the way there, they had already discovered many dangers. This made many tribal warriors who had never explored the realm of Jin feel like this was a novel experience. I heard that the 9 Smoke Swamp is occupied by 3 Void True God beasts and they lead a large number of beasts. Bei Feng looked down and sighed. Bei Feng looked down and sighed in amazement. Even the Eastern Army has sent out quite a few soldiers to attack the 9 Smoke Swamp, as expected of the famous 9 Smoke Swamp. Luo Feng also looked down. This was a vast swamp surrounded by clouds. Many beasts could be vaguely seen in the clouds. The number of true God-level beings was shocking. This was a terrifying force that was 10 times stronger than the desolate tribe. 3 Void True Gods. Luo Feng was also shocked. Actually, one could see that the realm of Jin was mainly divided into 2 forces. One was the tribal forces and the other was the beast forces. Both sides were ruled by the army. The army was truly superior. However, in order to train the warriors, the army would still send some normal warriors to attack the beast's godly powers and the tribal forces. However, these attacks were of low intensity, so there was no need for the Void True Gods to interfere. As they advanced, even Luo Feng, a fake traveler, had his horizons widened. He was shocked by the number of powerful beings in the realm of Jin. There are hundreds and thousands of true gods in the desolate tribe. Like the 9 Smoke Swamp, there are tens of thousands of true gods. Luo Feng thought, the entire realm of Jin, there are countless tribes and beasts. How many strong warriors are there in this army? True God Northern Yen led the way. Due to the extremely powerful warship, there was no danger along the way. However, it was an eye-opener for everyone. After advancing for about 3 months, we're about to reach the Eastern Army camp. True God Northern Yen looked at the horizon and shouted, "Eastern Army camp?" The tribe's warriors all looked ahead. Luo Feng too looked carefully. In the distant horizon, there was an endless pressure emanating from it. As the battleship advanced at high speeds, it became clearer and clearer. They could already see the endless army camp. This is the Eastern Army camp. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. He knew that the armies in the realm of Jin were divided into the north, south, east, and west armies. Although they were all loyal to His Majesty the Divine King, they were always competing with each other. It's really big. As they flew closer and closer, the Dry Wild Tribe's warriors couldn't help but exclaim. It was too shocking. There was an endless stretch of military camps. Soldiers could be seen everywhere, and the most common ones were naturally the lords of the universe. Other than the countless soldiers, there were also some beasts that joined the army. The various forms of the beasts made Luo Feng and the other soldiers shocked. What is that? That high? All of a sudden, the tribal warriors noticed those towering, strange objects in the depths of the military camp. Each of those objects was hundreds of millions of kilometers tall, and the warriors around them were much smaller than them. Luo Feng looked carefully at the strange objects that were hundreds of millions of kilometers tall. They were like huge ball-shaped fortresses. With one look, there were at least tens of thousands of them. Other than these, around the fortresses, there were also a sea of flying beasts. Those are machines. Northern Rock True God exclaimed, "Those are powerful machines created by the automaton army." Machines? These are the machines that can be used by large numbers of soldiers at the same time and explode with power? The legendary machines that can easily kill Void True Gods? The tribal warriors were all extremely excited. Luo Feng looked excitedly too. Of course he knew about the mechanical treasures. It was just that when he saw the inheritance from Duandong River, he only knew about them. Personally seeing them was too rare. And in the distance were large amounts of mechanical treasures. Kill Void True Gods? Northern Rock True God nodded. Right, look, that highest ball-shaped machine is called Jin Luo Tiandi. It requires at least 1,000,000 true gods to fully control. It can hold up to 10,000,000 true gods within. As long as they attack once, they can kill a group of void true gods. Luo Feng was shocked. It can hold up to 10,000,000 true gods? Such a machine was considered top-notch even in the records of the ancient civilization. The machine that my Jin realm is most proud of is Jin Luo Tiandi. Northern Rock True God said proudly. The materials used are extremely low and its power is also at its peak. And it can be mass-produced. Over the countless years, just the Eastern Army alone has created a lot of Jin Luo land. Even if all the soldiers of the 4 armies used the Jin Luo lands, it wouldn't take much. We created too many Jin Luo lands. They were originally prepared for His Majesty the Divine King to fight outside. It's just that His Majesty hasn't recruited his soldiers for a very long time. Luo Feng nodded to himself. Jin Luo Tiandi was indeed a killing machine meant for fighting outside. The internal battles of the Jin realm wouldn't use this kind of machine. Look at that small, bird-like machine next to the Jin Luo realm. That's the famous Jiu Pai, one of the proudest machines of the Jin Luo realm, True God Northrock introduced. Jiu Pai requires at least 100 true gods to operate. At most, it can hold up to 1,000 true gods. Jiu Pai is famous for its speed and agility. Its defense is also extremely strong. Even though it lacks in attack, it only has one type. However, it is an extremely effective machine in large-scale battles. Northern Rock True God said. Luo Feng nodded as he heard. Machinery. Not every type of machinery was suitable for large-scale warfare. The ancient civilization had many strong warriors. Large-scale battles between different powers were extremely terrifying. Some machines would probably be destroyed the moment they entered the battlefield. When one was weak, machines were extremely useful. However, when one reached the level of the 3rd generation founder or the God King, machines would be at a disadvantage. However, to true gods and void true gods, machines were extremely useful. Good machines had to be suitable for war and could be mass-produced while using as few materials as possible. It was indeed very complicated. That His Majesty probably died long ago. Luo Feng thought, without His Majesty's summons, the armies of the Jin realm can only follow the orders from before and continuously build machines and prepare their strength. They can wait to be summoned at any time. However, they probably won't ever be summoned. These machines are probably just a waste. Luo Feng shook his head. He didn't have any ambitions for those machines, because they needed too many warriors. Jin Luo world needed at least 1,000,000 true gods. How could they do that in the cosmic sea? Even Jiu Pai needed at least 100 true gods. That still exceeded the limits of the cosmic sea. The ancient civilization is really strong. Luo Feng thought to himself. Luo Feng wasn't surprised that they were so strong, because the existence of super-mechanical treasures like the universe boat allowed Luo Feng to vaguely see how powerful the ancient civilization's pinnacle power was. Anyone who wasn't an idiot could easily deduce that a universe boat, if its full power could be unleashed, true God? Even 100,000,000 true gods were just ants. It's a pity that the universe boat was damaged and stopped there forever. That humanoid creature that seemed to be the God King also laid there forever. Duandong River's previous generations all fell, leaving only me. Luo Feng shook his head. How cruel. It was only in the realm of Jin that some traces of the ancient civilization could be seen. The Eastern Army camp was boundlessly vast. The entire Jin realm had about a quarter of the tribes and beast powers that came to join the Eastern Army. Hence, it could be said that every day there would be soldiers joining, and the selection test was already very strict. Hence, the soldiers waiting for the selection test had formed a long queue. With one look, one couldn't see the end. Rumble! 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 As the battleship landed, on the surrounding plains, one could easily see 2 palaces landing in the distance, obviously here to send the soldiers off. Quickly, quickly come out! Don't be so slow, hurry up! Under Northern Rock God's scolding and kicks, the 800 warriors of the Ganya tribe and Luo Feng swiftly came out and arrived on the plains. Go over there and queue up! Northern Rock God shouted. Wait for the selection, you little bastards, don't even fail to join the army. With a leader like Northern Rock God who was familiar with everything naturally went smoothly. The 800 warriors, including Luo Feng, quickly arrived at the end of the long queue and swiftly lined up. Uncle, how long do we have to line up? Bei Feng asked anxiously. Luo Feng looked ahead too. It was truly a sea of people. Wrong, other than the humanoid creatures, there were also large amounts of beasts mixed in. Obviously, it wasn't a tribe that joined the army. From the looks of it, there are about 800,000 people in the queue. Northern Rock God's gaze swept across and judged. According to the normal speed, it should be your turn in half a month. Wait. Everyone, don't rush. Calm down and prepare yourselves. Just the most basic selection test for the army, only 1/3 can join normally. The other 2/3 have all died. Luo Feng's eyebrows twitched. 2/3 of the people who joined the army died? Don't embarrass my Ganya tribe, Northern Rock God shouted. After which, he immediately left and went to communicate with the other true gods. Haha, Zanu tribe, your warriors are here too. Oh, the little guys look pretty good. The true gods conversed. Northern Rock God naturally wasn't in a rush to leave. He would wait, at least to see, how many people from his Ganya tribe could join the army. Time passed. The warriors from the various tribes and the beasts from the various territories were constantly undergoing the bloody selection. Roars, and cries of pain could be heard from the front. Obviously, the selection test for the army was extremely cruel. Luo Feng also followed the queue and advanced. Indeed, after half a month, it was Luo Feng and the Ganya tribe's turn. Next batch, 3,000, all of you, come in. A beast with a blood-red horn swept across and roared. Including Luo Feng and the Ganya tribe, the 3,000 warriors, including the beasts, were all led to the bloody selection test for the army. ****, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1376. Under the guidance of several true gods, the bustling 3,000 warriors and exotic beasts walked directly toward the huge arched stone door in front of them. He. Bei Feng's eyes gleamed with madness as he communicated, later on, go all out and kill. If your performance is exceptional, you may be selected to enter the Special Army. Special Army? Luo Feng was shocked. The Eastern Army is split into many armies, 99% and above are normal armies. Even if we go through the selection of 3,000, there might not even be one who can enter the Special Army. Bei Feng communicated, however you are strong, there is still hope. Right, remember, when we enter, we have to stay close. Saying that, Bei Feng and Luo Feng followed the huge wave and entered the stone arch rumble. After entering the stone arch, space and time suddenly changed, and they entered a vast and desolate land. The ground was filled with sand. This is? The moment Luo Feng entered, he couldn't help but look around. Very quickly, the other 2,999 soldiers and beasts also looked around. They could vaguely see over 100 million km around them. Further away was darkness. This was a desolate desert. The ancient civilization's control of space and time has reached a perfect level. Luo Feng praised within. He and Bei Feng were close together. The other soldiers of the Dry Wilderness tribe were around too. Just as they were looking around, suddenly a formless pressure descended, enveloping the entire desert. All the soldiers and beasts looked up. Above was a horned man dressed in black streamlined armor. His cold golden pupils gazed downwards. Suddenly this pair of golden pupils simultaneously released a beam of golden light. Rumble! Rumble! 2 beams of golden light descended upon the desert. actually twisting, casually circling around the 3,000 soldiers and beasts. The two beams of golden light surrounded 1,500 soldiers and beasts. Following that, a layer of hazy red light appeared on the bodies of the beasts on the left, while a layer of yellow light appeared on the bodies of the beasts on the right. A formless pressure enveloped them. Everyone present was shocked. The pressure was not considered strong. However, the natural feeling of superiority, as well as the trembling of his divine power, made everyone understand that the existence in the sky should not be a real god. Instead, it should be a void real god of a higher level. Luo Feng raised his head to look. Void true god? An existence that could surpass reincarnation? All of you split into two groups. The horned man looked down and shouted, "Kill each other, kill each other. When I order you to stop, those who are alive can join the army. If you have the strength, you can use it to your heart's content. If any of you are particularly outstanding, you might be able to enter the special corps. Let's begin." The horned man shouted. Black light enveloped him as he disappeared into the darkness. On this desolate desert, the warriors and beasts of the two factions were respectively enveloped in a layer of red and yellow light. At this moment, they couldn't help but feel waves of killing intent surging in their hearts. Damn it! Bei Feng gritted his teeth in anger. Luo Feng looked ahead. Although the Ganya tribe's warriors were all close to each other, there were still nearly 100 warriors who were surrounded by the opposing camp. No wonder Bei Feng told me to stay closer to him, Luo Feng muttered as he looked around. Kill! Roar! The warriors and beasts of the two camps roared and turned into streaks of lightning. The warriors of the Ganya tribe naturally had a tacit understanding and wouldn't fight with the warriors of their own tribe. Instead, they chose other tribes and beasts and used all their strength to kill each other. Special Corps. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed fiercely. He had 3 goals for this trip into the Gene world. The first was to collect the life forms of the Gene world, especially the corpses of the true god warriors. He wanted to study the composition of life forms and allow himself to break through earlier, reaching 90,000 times the genetic level to become a true god. The second was to search for the deeper secrets of the cosmic sea. The third was mechanical treasures. Luo Feng knew about the ancient civilization, hence he was very clear that the normal and powerful warriors of the ancient civilization, mechanical treasures were extremely useful. Only when one reached the absolute being level would the mechanical treasures become useless. The more normal one was, the more powerful a mechanical treasure could be. For example, a true god, if he obtained a precious mechanical treasure, he could even fight a void true god. Even though he had the tomb boat, that was purely for defense. The Wu Slayer wings were also considered a support type and were extremely high-end. The complete Wu Slayer wings should only be used by extremely high-level beings. What Luo Feng needed, it was most suitable for him. The Eastern Army, this huge army camp, had a shocking amount of mechanical treasures. Even those forbidden mechanical treasures used by millions of true gods and tens of millions of true gods existed. Not to mention those mechanical treasures that could only be used by individuals. Luo Feng's goal was that, as long as he got 2 or 3 of them, humanity would be able to rely on them to have an incomparably stable position in the cosmic sea. However, Luo Feng guessed, the primal universe origin willpower was very clear on everything. With the guidance of the 3 elder gods, the more powerful the treasure, the harder it would be to get it. Just from the fact that none of the true god warriors he met along the way had any mechanical treasures, he understood, without sufficient status, it would be impossible to get them. Normal warriors definitely wouldn't be able to. If he wanted to enter, he would have to enter the Special Corps. Just like the armies of Earth, they had special forces in the past. Just like the Virtual Universe Company, they picked out geniuses and nurtured them. The same logic. This ancient civilization Gene world, since it was an endless army that fought. creating an elite army, equipped with treasures that normal armies didn't have. This was very normal. Broken limbs and fresh blood flew everywhere before swiftly merging back into one body. These two armies were madly killing each other. Kill! Luo Feng wielded his blood shadow blade and rushed towards the red light army's warriors and beasts. Seeing the red light, he just had to kill. Blade Light howled. The space here was extremely stable. Even with so many universe lords killing each other, it didn't cause any ripples in the space. Gene World is a world of constant killing. Plus the ancient civilization hasn't been destroyed yet. The warriors here are generally stronger than those in the cosmic sea. Luo Feng thought. With one look, he realized that the pinnacle of level 4 was the weakest he had seen. Most of them could reach level 5 or even pinnacle. Even like Bei Feng, his entire body was covered in gray light. Every punch and claw had reached level 6 strength. As the core member of the Ganya tribe, Bei Feng naturally had a supreme treasure battle armor with him. Kill! Kill! The killing was frenzied. If one wasn't careful, the other side's warriors would attack. This made the battle even more frenzied. As they were all universe lords, it was very difficult to kill them in one hit. However, their battle speed was already very fast. It was normal for 2/3 of them to die within half an hour. Hence, the weaker one was, the more careful they were. They tried their best to stall for time and live longer. As long as the horned man yelled for them to stop, they would have succeeded. The weaker ones had to be careful. However, the strong ones, especially the two with the strongest treasures, were doing their best to perform well enough to be selected into the special army. These two were the Yellow Light Army's Bei Feng and the Red Light Army's Beast. The beast roared and rushed towards Bei Feng. Die! You deserve to die! Bei Feng too rushed over. Rumble! Rumble! The two clashed like lightning. After a few exchanges, Bei Feng was hit in the head by a claw. His entire body flew backwards. He immediately stood up and gritted his teeth. God Energy Burning Technique. My father is Northern True Ocean's master. This is our Northern True Ocean's God Energy Burning Technique. The beast with two wings on its neck roared. This made Bei Feng's expression even uglier. In the distance, Luo Feng, who had just sent an enemy soldier flying, turned and roared, Bei Feng, let me do it. Rumble! Luo Feng was like lightning and rushed forward. All right. Bei Feng immediately retreated. In that short exchange, he realized how terrifying that beast was. It definitely had a set of powerful treasures and a God energy burning technique. Even though the army had rules that forbade retired warriors from divulging some of their inheritances to outsiders, if they comprehended it themselves, it naturally wasn't included. Northern True Ocean was a superpower among the beasts. The Northern True Ocean had 9 void real gods, and the Sea Master of the Northern True Ocean, who was the leader, was a peak void real god and was extremely powerful. In the entire Gene realm, they were all important figures. At least the small Ganyi tribe was no match for them. Die! The beast roared and rushed towards Luo Feng. God energy burning technique? Luo Feng laughed coldly. He wasn't surprised. The third-generation ancestors, Annihilation, was divided into many volumes. Just the strongest in the universe could learn the first 3 volumes. So it wasn't strange for some powerful warriors to comprehend techniques similar to the first and second volumes. After all, the Gene realm also had a rich inheritance from the ancient civilization. Kill! Luo Feng's body moved swiftly. In an instant, he circled behind the beast. Following which, the blood shadow blade turned into a thin beam of light. The light quickly enveloped the beast, forming a miniature universe. The battle was intense. As time passed, warriors and beasts fell one after another. Among them, the craziest and most dazzling battle was between Luo Feng and the beast. The mutated beast had a set of supreme treasures on it, as well as a secret burning technique. Luo Feng had previously trained for over 8 million years, under 10,000 times acceleration, over 8 million eras. The long period of training caused his blade technique and close combat to improve by leaps and bounds. As he wasn't clear about the situation within the camp, Luo Feng didn't go all out. After all, the moment he went all out, it would be too shocking. That was the full guidance of the broken East River's inheritance. Only then could such a heaven-defying genius be nurtured. And in the Gene realm, the precious inheritances were all in the army. Without any special inheritances, he was still so heaven-defying? That wasn't realistic. It would probably cause the army to investigate Luo Feng's background. That would be troublesome. Once he understood more about the army and had confidence, he would slowly raise his strength to get what he wanted. Your god energy is less than 50% and you still want to fight me. Luo Feng was incomparably mad. His silhouette flickered like lightning. He was terrifyingly fast. During these 8 million eras, he borrowed the close combat technique from the Blood Sea created by the ninth ancestor of the broken East River to create his own close combat technique, flowing gold. Pung! The beast tumbled and crashed into the endless desert, causing the sand to fly. His god energy was less than 50%. His strength was already 10 times weaker. He wasn't Luo Feng's match at all. Stop! A powerful pressure descended upon them in an instant. If the pressure from before was like a gentle breeze, then this pressure was like an endless mountain pressing down. Rumble, all of the universe Lord warriors were pressed to the ground. Luo Feng too was pressed to the ground, unable to resist at all. This is the strength of a void true god? Luo Feng was shocked. The horned man walked down from above and gazed below. At this time, there were 921 survivors left. You and you. The horned man pointed at Luo Feng and the beast. The two of you, enter the Python River Army. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1377. Haha, we survived. We've entered the Eastern Army. That terrifying blade-wielding bastard, luckily he fought with Northern Zhenhai's Wuha, otherwise we'd be in trouble. The surviving warriors and beasts were all extremely excited, only a few were mourning their comrades' deaths, as they'd seen too many of their comrades fall since young. There was a legend in the entire Gene world, falling meant reincarnation. The beings of the Gene world were naturally used to it, and would only silently pray for their comrades, not too sad. After all, on the path of the strong, the majority were destined to fall. Just entering the army and 2/3 of them died, one could only imagine what would happen in the future. Quick, quick, quick! Go quickly! In this desolate desert space, a huge arched door appeared out of nowhere. 3 true gods walked out of the arched door and shouted loudly. The surviving warriors and beasts all obediently walked over. After all, they were about to go through the next round of selections. You too. One of them was dressed in dark red armor, with a huge tail, a true god soldier with a red eye on Luo Feng and the beast. Follow me, I'll bring you to the Python River Army. Yes. Luo Feng replied. Yes. The beast that was beaten up replied too. The two followed the true god and walked out of the arched door. Inhe, good luck! Bei Feng shouted. Good luck! Luo Feng turned and shouted. Just like that, the two of them separated. Within the army, it was destined that they wouldn't be able to do as they wished. Bei Feng's strength was still far from the requirements of the Python River Army, even though he was considered an elite. He wasn't a true genius. Naturally, he wouldn't be accepted right from the start. Only with exceptional performance in the future could he be accepted into the Special Army. However, at that time, it wouldn't be the Python River Army anymore, but another special army. Luo Feng and the beast followed behind the one-eyed true god, flying through the vast army camp. Their speed was about light speed. It's actually a complete spacelock. Luo Feng muttered, looks like within the camp, there's no way to teleport. I'm called Wuha, from Northern Zhenhai. My father is the master of Northern Zhenhai. A voice resounded. Luo Feng turned and looked, smiling. I'm called Yin He. Everywhere is my home. Oh! Wuha nodded its ugly head, indicating that it understood. In the realm of Jin, there were too many tribal wars and beasts' wars. Some tribes lost their homes and became vagrants. Of course, there were also some who were willing to wander and train themselves. You are very powerful, Wuha praised. You're not bad too. Luo Feng laughed. There are many special corps in the Eastern Army. The Python River Army is just one of them. Wuha sent a voice transmission. For example, there are very few geniuses who are discovered during the initial selection process of joining the army. That's why, in a short period of time, the Python River Army will only have the two of us as new recruits, especially when we first enter. Those old soldiers will look down on us, so we have to work together. Join forces? Luo Feng was shocked. The life of a soldier is a life of battle. Wuha said. They have gone out to fight time and time again. Those veterans who were able to enter the Special Legion are outstanding to begin with. Furthermore, they have received the legacy of the military and have cultivated for a long time. Coupled with their long-term cooperation, coupled with the tempering of life and death situations, they are indeed formidable. Luo Feng nodded to express his understanding. Amazing? What a joke. Maybe the soldiers of the Python River Army were very powerful. However, compared to Luo Feng, who had received the Duandong River legacy, they were still lacking. Unless one had a mechanical treasure that allowed him to fight beyond his level. The Eastern Army camp was so huge it could be said to be boundless. Luo Feng and Wuha followed the one-eyed true god, flying and using the wormhole teleportation. After spending about half a day, they finally arrived at an incomparably huge palace. Within the palace, there were many human silhouettes and beast silhouette. The two of you wait here. The one-eyed true god ordered. Luo Feng and Wuha obediently waited outside the majestic palace. The one-eyed true god entered the palace alone. What is this place? Luo Feng asked Wuha beside him. This is one of the barracks. Wuha shook his head, the two wings on his neck were flapping. Our Python River Army's armaments should be placed here. Look, there are many soldiers entering. They should be here to change their armament. Change armaments? Luo Feng was shocked. Wuha nodded his large head, saying solemnly, all warriors rely on battle after battle to train. Life and death battles after battles. Large amounts of soldiers fall, normal soldiers are fine, the chances of them dying are already high. But for our Python River Army soldiers, if faced with the same level of danger, I'm afraid not many will die. Hence, our experiences will be much more dangerous than theirs. Similarly, our spoils of war can be used to exchange for military merit. We can use our merits to exchange for armament. The more merits one has, the more outstanding one's performance is, the more benefits one can exchange for. Wuha said, you can even exchange for a true god team as your personal guard. That's possible. Of course, the amount of merits required is terrifying. Luo Feng laughed. Personal guard? It's a pity that the aboriginals within the Jin world would die the moment they left the Jin world. There are mechanical treasures here too? Luo Feng asked. Of course there are. Wuha's cold eyes flashed with excitement, saying, there are many powerful mechanical treasures, however the amount of merits required are similarly ridiculously high. The more mysterious the mechanical treasures are, the more valuable they are. My father, back then, acquired a powerful mechanical treasure. After he retired, he was able to dominate the entire northern True Sea. However, even a true god would need a long period of time to accumulate military merits in order to obtain a powerful mechanical type treasure. We are merely lords of laws, so our accumulation of military merits is even slower. Obtaining a powerful mechanical type treasure is very difficult. Even if we can obtain one, it will take a very, very long time. Luo Feng memorized this. Very long time? The Gene world was originally an incomparably ancient world. Even a reincarnation era was considered normal within the Gene world. After all, there were many true gods within the Gene world. There were even quite a few void true gods. Even Wuha said it would take a very long time. It seemed like the time required was indeed very long. He came from the cosmic sea, what he lacked was time. He's here. Wuha looked into the distance. Luo Feng looked over too. Within the armory, the one-eyed true god walked out. With a wave of his hand, 2 beams of light descended and landed before Luo Feng and Wuha. Even though you two are only law lords, since you entered the Mang River army, you can acquire the true god level armor. The true god level Mang River armor, that's only the Mang River armor. The one-eyed true god glanced at Luo Feng and the beast. It can allow you to live longer in life and death battles, especially during the recruit era. You can survive. Alright, follow me to the Mang River army. Luo Feng held the armor. True god level armor? Feeling its might. In the cosmic sea, this was a supreme treasure battle armor. And in the Gene world, it was merely a true god level armor. Normal law lord soldiers didn't have the qualifications to acquire it. Special armies were a little more special. From the looks of it, Luo Feng thought, armors should be separated into true god level, void true god level. Absolute treasures, there's obviously a difference in strength. This belongs to the most normal of the absolute treasures. The Black Prison Pagoda and the Yen Jun Rod are probably also normal treasures. Luo Feng thought, like the Wu Killer Wings and the Star Pagoda are obviously much more special. The one-eyed true god glanced behind him, quickly recognized them and wear them. All the Mang River army soldiers have to wear them. Yes. Luo Feng replied. It's not as good as mine. Wuha communicated to Luo Feng. Luo Feng laughed within. This was his first time entering, yet he didn't even bring the Wu Yu or Star Pagoda. Hence this Mang River armor was something he urgently needed. Recognizing the owner is easy. Luo Feng swiftly succeeded. The difficulty was rather low, on the same level as the Yen Jun Rod. Hua, the Mad Demon Destroyer armor was swiftly kept. The Mang River armor swiftly appeared on the surface of his body. A dark red armor swiftly appeared on Luo Feng's entire body. On the helmet was a peculiar python head design, and on the dark red armor were circles of black markings. Beside him, the beast Wuha also swiftly became a dark red beast, its surface also covered in black markings. This time, Luo Feng and the others spent close to 3 days in the camp before finally arriving at a vast lake. There were many islands on the lake, numbering in the tens of millions. The entire lake's diameter could be counted in the light years. With a glance, one could even see many dark red silhouettes. One look and I can tell they're the Mang River army soldiers. Luo Feng thought. All of them wore dark red armor. Their helmets had peculiar python designs. These are the new recruits of your Mang River army. The one-eyed true god shouted loudly, his voice rumbling, directly transmitting into the endless lake. They're split into a large group of 6 squads. After shouting, the one-eyed true god glanced at Luo Feng and the beast Wuha. I hope I'll be able to see you two again. Shua. After which he became a beam of light and swiftly left. Following closely, in the distance, many silhouettes flickered, obviously teleporting. The main area outside was unable to teleport, however within a certain area within the lake, one could teleport. A total of 20 silhouettes teleported over. Following closely behind, they floated beside Luo Feng and Wuha. Of these 20 silhouettes, some were human-shaped, some were beasts. They were sizing up Luo Feng and Wuha. My father is the master of the northern true ocean. Wuha raised his head and shouted. In the army, no matter how strong your father is, he won't be able to help you. Of the 20 silhouettes floating ahead, a tall and sturdy man said directly, the two of you, report your names, tell me what you're good at. Me, Wuha. Wuha roared, I'm good at, oh my god, body is big enough, it's over 1 million kilometers long. Your body isn't small. And you? The tall and sturdy man looked at Luo Feng. Me, he. Luo Feng replied, my strength is stronger than Wuha, my close combat dodging is better. That tall and sturdy man had a pair of huge curved horns, his gray eyes scrutinizing Luo Feng and Wuha. Your talents should be considered the normal standard of our Mang River Army, however in half a month our 6th squad will be leaving. You two are quite unlucky. Hurry up and accept the basic inheritance of our Mang River Army, learn as much as you can, increase your strength as much as you can. The moment you arrive, you've already encountered a disaster-level mission. That's quite unlucky. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1378. Disaster Level? Wuha was shocked. Luo Feng seemed to be deep in thought as he looked at the group of Python River soldiers before him. The tall and sturdy man said indifferently, I am the captain of Python River's first large team, 6th small team. This contains all of the Army's rules and general knowledge. Whatever needs to be done, you guys go do it yourselves. Unless there's a special situation, don't disturb your teammates' training. Saying that, he flipped his hand and threw out 2 crystal balls. The crystal balls were about the size of a finger. Luo Feng and Wuha caught them simultaneously. Go back and train, prepare? The captain ordered. Yes. A portion of the soldiers replied, the others didn't bother. Obviously the captain didn't have enough authority. Let me remind you, it's about to be a disaster-level mission. A clear voice resounded. It was a lady with green skin and green wings. Kufa, do you think these 2 newbies will be able to survive the disaster-level mission? They haven't even accepted the basic inheritances, they don't even have enough time to train, how can they survive the disaster-level mission? The soldiers shook their heads, after which they all teleported away, too lazy to interact with Luo Feng and Wuha. The captain looked deeply at Luo Feng and Kufa. Prepare well. Shua. He too left. Only Luo Feng and Wuha were left in midair. Seems like our luck isn't too good. Luo Feng said softly. Wuha, disaster-level mission, what does that mean? Wuha roared softly. It's not that our luck is good, it's extremely bad. The so-called army, they're all trained through life and death situations, they're all missions given by the army every era. Whether it's attacking here or there, once every era, every 10,000 eras there'll be one mission with extremely high levels of danger, that's called the disaster level. And every 100 million eras there'll be an even more terrifying one, that's called the rebirth level. Rebirth level? Luo Feng was stunned. It means meeting that mission is equivalent to going through reincarnation. Wuha looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng laughed. In the realm of Jin, death was regarded as reincarnation. This 100 million eras seemed like it was really dangerous. If it's a normal army, even if it's a rebirth level, we wouldn't be afraid. Wuha said anxiously, however this is the Python River Army, their normal missions are equivalent to the normal army's rebirth level missions. Calamity grade is a disaster for geniuses like us. Rebirth grade is a nightmare. Even if it's a veteran soldier, when encountering a samsara level mission, more than half of them will die. Relatively speaking, in a normal army, the survival rate is even higher. After all, after a long period of tempering in an ordinary army, one could also become an extremely powerful existence even amongst law masters. Those extremely strong existences can usually get through the rebirth level mission. Wuha sighed. The higher one's power is, the harder it is to increase it. We are all at the master of the laws level, but no matter how strong we are, there is a limit to how strong we can be. However, the military missions we encountered were much more difficult. Many of them died. Luo Feng's expression changed. In an ordinary army, if 100 people joined the army, it would be considered good if 3 to 5 of them could survive and retire. Based on Wuha's words, the Python River Army, A special army that gathered geniuses had a lower survival rate? He could only say, His Majesty the Divine King of the Gene Realm set up such a screening system was too crazy. Although it's much more dangerous and scary. Wuha's eyes were filled with madness, but if we obtained precious inheritances, it would be much easier for us to obtain powerful treasures. The super experts of the gene world, like the Void Real God, almost all of them were trained in the special forces. Normal army? They're destined to be ordinary for life. My father is the master of the Northern True Sea. Of course I want to be as strong as my father, or even stronger, Wuha said thirstily. Luo Feng looked at Wuha beside and smiled. Let's go, we'll choose an island to stay on first. Even though the information within the crystal ball was complicated, it wasn't much. The general's rules and general knowledge were only briefly introduced. Luo Feng and Wuha immediately grasped it with their divine energy. They also knew that this lake was the camp of the Python River Army. The Python River Army was split into 3 large teams. The 3 teams each occupied 3 large areas of the lake. And the first team had a total of 9 teams. Every team had their own area within this area. They could choose any island without an owner as their training ground. Rumble. He first teleported and then became a rainbow light, directly flying above an island. The special forces are indeed different. To be able to occupy an island and forbid other warriors from entering. Luo Feng gazed below and nodded in satisfaction. As for Wuha? Instead, he chose an island in the distance, so Luo Feng swiftly descended. The entire island was about 100,000 kilometers in diameter. It could only be considered a small island. In the center of the island was a simple stone house. Of course, if he wasn't satisfied, he could completely demolish it and rebuild it. However, Luo Feng didn't mind. As long as he had a place to rest, that was enough. Set. Luo Feng's divine energy fiercely surged and drilled into the depths of the island. He touched a rhombus crystal and drilled in. The crystal's color changed. From now on, this island had an owner. Stone roof. Luo Feng was lying on a huge stone chair. The chair was huge. Luo Feng's body was only 100 kilometers in size. He used the chair as a bed. Gazing into the distance, he could see the endless lake and the distant islands. Right now, I've entered the gene world. I've also successfully entered the Eastern Army's special army, the Python River Army. The next army mission will be in a year's time. Luo Feng thought about his route. Ultimate treasures? Mechanical treasures? They all required military merits. Right now I urgently need the blood and scales of true god warriors. Luo Feng thought. I need to get as many true god corpses as I can and find a chance to send them back to the primal universe. These 8 million eras. Luo Feng's energy was mainly spent on studying the structure of life. As humans were blood and flesh life forms, it was destined that after he became a true god and fused with his body, he would still be a blood and flesh life form. Hence, in terms of life structure, Luo Feng's understanding of the blood and flesh life form was the highest. Right now, Luo Feng's understanding of the genetic structure of life forms. He was able to forcefully transform the new ocean shadow body into a blood and flesh life form, raising its genetic level to 10,081 times. However, the Masha clansman was an energy life form. Luo Feng had spent too little energy on it. Even though he had some comprehension, his genetic level was only 5,000 times. My improvement is too slow. I haven't even broken through 10,081 times. How can I talk about 90,000 times? Luo Feng was anxious. According to his understanding, on the path of godly power, genetic breakthroughs became harder the higher one went. He originally had 10,081 times vitality genes, and as long as he spent enough time and effort, it would not be difficult to analyze this level. Now, he had indeed completely analyzed this level, allowing the new C clone to rapidly reassemble from within 1,000 times, just like a piece of charcoal rapidly turning into a diamond, causing the interior of the new C clone to change, becoming a powerful divine body that was 100,000 kilometers tall with perfect genes. However, it was much more difficult to break through the limit of 10,081 times and reach 15,000 times, or even higher. On this path, there were a few big hurdles. The first hurdle was to break through the perfect limit. The second hurdle was to break through 30,000 times. The third hurdle was to break through 60,000 times. The fourth hurdle was to break through 90,000 times. In terms of genetic structure, true gods were superior to the masters of the universe. This allowed Luo Feng to discover more ways to break through. However, Luo Feng had only acquired vast Thunderstar Lord's body. The blood and hair of his two teachers, Mountain Passenger and Primal Chaos City Leader, the amount was too little. He needed more. The training method Luo Feng had long understood. 1. Analyze trillions of life forms, trillions of matter structures. 2. Create life. Life that could reproduce. Creating it was the hardest. Like the 9 underworld leader, the life he created all came from his ocean. They were all energy life forms, unable to reproduce. It was the easiest and easiest. And to allow life to reproduce itself, this involved the origin of life. It was even more complicated, and it was a huge help in analyzing life forms. Of course, according to Luo Feng's estimation, he could at least evolve his god body to 50,000 times and above. Only when he reached that level would he have the right to create life that could reproduce. With that, he would be able to assist himself and walk even higher on the god energy path. Large amounts of true god corpses. Large amounts of merit points. Luo Feng thought. Right now, I'll go take a look at the basic inheritances. Luo Feng, who was lying on the stone chair on the roof of the stone house, immediately became a beam of light and flew into the distance. In the center of the island, there was the Python River Army's basic inheritances. So, Luo Feng swiftly descended. There were many stone pillars on the island. Every pillar had a crystal ball on it. In the distance, the beast Wuha was shaking its head and its body was wrapped around a pillar. Milky Way. Wuha immediately let go of the pillar. Stepping on the ground with his claws, the wings on his neck shook and he flew over like lightning. Why are you only here now? The disaster level mission is almost here. We have to grasp the time to learn these basic inheritances. Wuha rushed. Even though these are basic inheritances, there are many that even my father can't teach me. They are very precious. Like normal armies, every inheritance has to be exchanged with merit points. Only special armies like us get the basic inheritances for free the moment we enter. However, for the more profound ones, we'll need merit points to exchange for them. Take the time to read them. I'll continue my study. Wuha didn't speak anymore. Obviously, he was making the best use of his time. Luo Feng nodded. There were about 100 crystal balls on the island. In an instant, Luo Feng's god energy spread out and seeped into every crystal ball. Immediately large amounts of information flooded in. Creating treasures? Creating machinery? Close combat? Illusion? Combination technique? Burning god energy technique. Luo Feng was shocked when he saw it. He originally thought that these basic inheritances would be ordinary. However, from the looks of it, they were extremely useful. Many battle techniques, combination techniques, god energy burning techniques, etc. could all raise one's battle strength. Like many training techniques, they only allowed one to break through to the true god level. The Divine Power Ignition Secret Art only had one level. It was equivalent to the first volume of Annihilation. According to the introduction of the God Energy Burning Technique, an overlord could at most learn the first level. A true god could only learn the second level. Of course, all the inheritances in the future would require merit points to exchange. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1379. Luo Feng memorized all the basic inheritances of the Python River Army. At the same time, he was very shocked. These basic inheritances naturally paled in comparison to the Broken East River inheritance. However, compared to the sea of memory stones he had, they were definitely top-notch. According to his understanding of the ancient civilization, powerful inheritances, they weren't easily passed down in the ancient civilization. Military inheritances, especially the Python River Army inheritance, it could already be considered as a high-grade inheritance. Of course, this was only a small portion of the high-level inheritance. Above that, one needed military merits to exchange for it. The Broken East River inheritance was considered a super inheritance, and Luo Feng had the entire set. After learning this technique, I can at least unleash the first level of annihilation. Luo Feng thought, the Gene World's inheritance management is extremely strict. If I were to unleash the annihilation technique to burn my god energy, and if I can't explain where I learned it from, I'd be sentenced to death. While Luo Feng was acting and learning the basic inheritances, Primal Universe, Human Territory, Milky Way Sacred Land, Luo Feng's new ocean clone sat crossed-legged on the 9th level of a majestic palace. It was empty all around, and one could see the endless space and time. Luo Feng opened his eyes and stood up, turning to look into the distance. So, a beam of light flew over. It was the two-faced ancestor god of the ancestral god sect, Milky Way leader. The two-faced ancestor god stood on the black jade floor of the 9th level and smiled at Luo Feng. "Why are you here?" Luo Feng was shocked and smiled. "You and I are good friends. Even if there's nothing, can't you come?" The two-faced ancestor god mocked. Luo Feng smiled. "Of course you can. You can stay however long you want." This two-faced ancestor god had saved him once before. Of the three, he indeed had the best impression of him. The two-faced ancestor god said, "Of course I'm here for something. Milky Way leader, you must have gained a lot in Gene World. Otherwise, how would you have alerted the Primal Universe's laws? I'm here on behalf of the laws." Luo Feng was shocked. Representing the laws? And he said that he had gained a lot? It seemed like the primeval universe origin laws understood him very well. That's right, when he was in the Gene World, he didn't feel restricted at all. He tried to study the memory stone in the inheritance space of the tomb boat, however he realized, he was still unable to study the deeper contents. Back then, Luo Feng realized that the primeval universe origin laws could still affect him. The realm of Gene had appeared in the cosmic sea under the guidance of the primeval universe's origin will. It would be strange if the realm of Gene did not have any control over it. "My gains are huge?" Luo Feng laughed. "What do you mean?" "The galactic lords know their place. Although I'm not sure, according to the primeval universe's origin will, you were the first batch of experts to enter the cosmic sea, and you benefited the most." Luo Feng squinted. The biggest gain? Now that he had entered the Python River Army, he received a set of Python River armor. The Python River armor was a true god-level armor, and could be considered a supreme treasure. However, Luo Feng discovered that the Python River armor, compared to the Wu Killer Wings extended armor, was weaker by a little. The Wu Killer Wings armor, level 8 and below attacks couldn't harm the body. However, the Python River armor, level 7 and below attacks couldn't harm the body, weakening was the same as the two. However, the Python River armor's limit was far from the Wu Killer Wings limit. Without comparing, one wouldn't know, but after comparing, it made Luo Feng exclaim at the power of the Wu Killer Wings. Other than his gains from the Python River armor, the most important was the identity of a Python River army soldier. A special army soldier, whether it was military merits or the inheritance they could exchange for, was much higher. There weren't many warriors from the large powers that entered the cosmic sea for the first time, over 200 of them. Many of them died right at the start, and even if they managed to sneak into the army, to sneak into a special army like the Python River Army, other than Luo Feng, no one else could do it. Many thoughts flashed through Luo Feng's mind in an instant, after which he looked at the two-faced ancestor god. Ancestor god, what are you here for? I'm here on behalf of the primal universe's origin willpower to guide you. The two-faced ancestor god looked at Luo Feng, his entire body emitting pressure. Even though it wasn't strong, it was obviously a pressure that far exceeded that of a void true god, or even more, it was obviously bestowed upon him by the primal universe's origin laws. In a normal rebirth era, the fourth danger zone wouldn't appear. The two-faced ancestor god said slowly, and in this era, it's obviously not normal, hence the fourth danger zone appeared. This is a fortuitous encounter, and also a great calamity. The voice was like a heavy hammer, smashing into Luo Feng's heart. Great calamity? Luo Feng frowned, the appearance of that humanoid life form, and the primal universe's origin willpower even guided them, telling them the method to enter the gene world. There was definitely a reason for it to help them like this. After all, with the origin willpower's normal strength, it shouldn't interfere in anything. However, it obviously had a purpose. It had once suppressed the ancestor. It had once wanted to kill the Yuan Ao Lord and banish the Wonder. It had wanted to kill Vast Thunder Star Lord and the other two. Everything showed, the primal universe's origin willpower had its own standpoint. Luo Feng looked at the two-faced ancestor god. What do you want me to do? You are the future strongest warrior of the entire cosmic sea. The two-faced ancestor god said slowly, you don't have to deny this. Your strength will be even stronger than the ancestor. All calamities require you to deal with them, and how to deal with them will depend on the gene world. Remember, the two-faced ancestor god looked at Luo Feng, follow the rules of the gene world, obtain as many benefits as you can to strengthen yourself. Your strength is the hope of the primal universe's origin willpower. You are the primal universe's child. Anything that's disadvantageous to the primal universe will also be disadvantageous to you. Remember, everything is in the gene world. Become stronger. So, the two-faced ancestor god smiled after he finished, after which he became a beam of light and left. Luo Feng stood there silently, looking at the distant two-faced ancestor god's departure. The origin willpower really values me. Luo Feng muttered softly. Everything that happened before made Luo Feng understand. The origin willpower couldn't personally act. Everything had to be done through the hands of other warriors. Obviously, the origin willpower had its eyes on Luo Feng, believing him to be the strongest in the future. Hence it had guided Luo Feng along, wanting to make him its origin willpower's sharp blade, destroying all enemies. I am the primal universe's child. Anything that's disadvantageous to it will be disadvantageous to me? Luo Feng muttered within. These words were obviously telling Luo Feng that the primal universe's origin willpower was on his side. Just because you say it, I'll believe it? The appearance of the gene world. Vast Thunder Star Lord's death unleashed the complete opposite of his god energy, the primal universe's origin willpower actively guiding. Luo Feng thought, everything has a purpose, and the origin willpower is just a willpower, it can't attack directly. As long as I'm strong enough, becoming the strongest in the cosmic sea, then, I'll have the right to speak. Let's see what happens. And before that, what I need to do is to raise my own strength. Luo Feng didn't reject it. The primal universe's origin willpower made him feel a sense of danger, making him feel a sense of urgency to raise his own strength. He would indeed do that. After all, strengthening himself wasn't wrong. Virtual Universe, Thunder Island Peak. Luo Feng and the Primal Chaos City leader met. Teacher, this is the Mang River Army's God Energy Burning Technique. Luo Feng recorded the Mang River Army's inheritance in the virtual universe and sent it to the Primal Chaos City leader. God Energy Burning Technique? The Primal Chaos City leader looked carefully. Even in the ancient civilization, God Energy Burning techniques are something only extremely powerful beings can create. The blade energy is incomparably condensed. Even after passing through my armor, it didn't disperse, draining my god body greatly. And your close combat dodging is too fast. Even I can't block it. I've been used as a target. After slashing so many times, my god body has been drained by 50%. Luo Feng, however, smiled. Back then he had fought for a full half an hour. Of the 3,000 that went to choose, less than 1,000 remained. One could only imagine how long they had been fighting and how fast his blade was. Who knew how many times he had slashed Wuha's body, yet he had only destroyed 50% of his god body. Let's go. Rest well. We'll leave tomorrow. Let's hope we can return alive this time. Wuha muttered. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1380. On his own island, on the roof of the stone house, Luo Feng sat crossed-legged on a huge stone slab waiting. Disaster-level mission, who knows how difficult it will be? Luo Feng thought, it seems dangerous, but in truth it's a good chance to get huge amounts of merit points. Within the camp, everything required merit point. Eat and wait for death? That was destined to be death. Normally before heading out for a mission, one would use merit points to exchange for treasures, like a swift recovery treasure, or treasures for escaping, or mechanical treasures, etc. However, Luo Feng didn't even have a single merit point. Even if he wanted to exchange, he couldn't. Naturally, he didn't have to worry about these. At the same time, in one of the Eastern Army's bases, it was also where Luo Feng and Wuha acquired the Python River armor. Captain, our remaining merit points, the 18 of us add up to only over 260,000. What do we exchange for? This is a disaster-level mission that happens once every 10,000 eras. Captain, we have to exchange for the most important things. Outside the main hall of the armament point, 18 soldiers led by the leader of a large team of 6 squads were discussing the exchange. A bunch of idiot. 6 silhouettes glanced at them mockingly and entered the armory. Meanwhile, the captain and the other 18 soldiers could not help but feel very angry. It's you, Luo, and the others. Watch them get cocky. I don't believe they'll still be so lucky this time. Right, Captain, when the time comes, we'll give them a chance. Many of the 18 soldiers led by the captain were indignant. In the blink of an eye. Assemble! A voice rang out on the island where all the sergeants of the first 6 squads of the first platoon were gathered. Luo Feng, who was sitting crossed-legged on the roof of the stone house, opened his eyes. Has it begun? Luo Feng smiled. So. He immediately broke through the skies and flew out of the island's perimeter, immediately teleporting towards the foundational inheritance island. The entire Python River Army camp was extremely huge. The usual gathering point for missions was the foundational inheritance island. Milky Way. Wuha. The moment Luo Feng appeared outside the foundational inheritance island, he saw a beast silhouette not too far away. The wings on Wuha's neck were flapping and swiftly flying over. Luo Feng glanced at the island, realizing many soldiers had already arrived. I've understood everything. After Wuha flew over, he transmitted his voice. Our 6 squads have a total of 39 soldiers. The original 37 soldiers are not united enough. They are divided into 3 small groups. One group is led by the captain and consists of 18 soldiers. Another group is led by Kufa and consists of 10 soldiers. The last group is led by Yuluo and consists of 9 soldiers. Ah! Luo Feng looked shocked at Wuha. Wuha was indeed worthy of being the son of the Northern Pure Sea's master. It seemed like he had already made preparations before joining the army. Not long after joining the Python River Army, he had already figured out the inner workings of the army. Compared to him, he was far inferior. Whoosh, whoosh. As they spoke, the two of them quickly flew towards the island. Landing on the island, there were already over 30 silhouettes gathered there. With a glance, Luo Feng could easily tell just from the way the soldiers gathered. They were split into 3 circles. The captain that he had met before was in one circle, the Kinder Kofa was in another circle, and the last circle was colder and crazier. When Luo Feng and Wu He landed, the soldiers in these 3 circles looked at them with unfriendly gazes. Obviously they were warning the two not to get close. The captain is still fair. Wu He quietly transmitted his voice. Kuzwa has the best temper. As for Yu Luo is that jade-green fellow with 18 claws. He's crazy and bloodthirsty. Most of the mutated beasts in our team are under his command. If it was a normal day, these 3 circles might try to rope us in. However, we're about to enter the Calamity level mission. We've never worked with them before, and we've never practiced our techniques together. Hence, these 3 circles, for their own lives, won't accept us. Luo Feng nodded. It was normal. These 3 squads had been through countless life and death battles. Their teamwork was extremely good and they knew each other's strengths and weaknesses. If they suddenly accepted new recruits, it would only disrupt their own team's coordination. No matter how friendly they were, they wouldn't accept them. In He Wuha, the captain said coldly, this Calamity level mission, you can only rely on yourselves. Understand? Wuha grinned and said hoarsely, of course we understand. Luo Feng nodded. Very good. The captain nodded. He didn't waste any more words. From his point of view, this Calamity level mission, the 2 new recruits didn't have enough time to train their inheritances. They didn't even have enough merits to exchange for treasures or even stronger inheritances. Unless they were extremely lucky, they were destined to fall. So. Silhouettes landed one by one, landing in the 3 squad. Very quickly, all 3 squads were gathered. We'll go accept this mission. The captain ordered. Rumble, 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 rumble. The 4 squads, the captain, Kufa, Yu Luo, as well as the 2 pitiful new recruits Luo Feng and Wu He swiftly flew out. Following closely behind, they all teleported out. A completely black demonic palace. There were many carvings on it. Large amounts of strong warriors. After spending close to a day, the entire 6 squads, a total of 39 soldiers, turned into streams of light and arrived in the vicinity of the heretical palace. Rumble! A beam of light shot towards all the soldiers of the 6th squad. Immediately, a voice resounded in their minds. Almost like a message, it described the army's mission in detail. The army's mission location: 9 Smoke Swamp. Mission details: obtain 10,000 military merit. Kill a true god to obtain 10,000 military merit. Kill a law master to obtain 1 military merit. Killing a true god requires a true god's corpse as proof. Killing an overlord requires a weapon left behind as proof. Mission time: before the next mission, it has to be completed. Failure will result in military punishment. The mission description was simple. However, it made Luo Feng and Wu He's expressions change. Going to the 9 Smoke Swamp to kill a true god or an overlord. We're in big trouble now. The 9 Smoke Swamp. Although it's not as powerful as my father's Northern Pure Sea, it's still a very, very powerful force. There are many, many true gods there, and who knows how many masters of laws there are. If we go, won't we just be sending ourselves to death? Wu He was really panicking. Before accepting the mission, he was still very confident. He thought his strength was very strong. Even if it was difficult, he could probably complete it with time and effort. However, now that he knew the mission details, he crumbled. Luo Feng was panicking too. What to do? Accumulate 10,000 points. 9 Smoke Swamp. he had seen it on his way to join the army. It was a vast swamp covered in mist. Back when he looked down, he could vaguely see many true god silhouettes. If he were to kill a true god one-on-one, he would have close to an era's time before the next mission. With 8 million eras of training, with his current strength fully unleashed, there was still hope of killing a true god one-on-one. Of course, the prerequisite was that the enemy didn't hide within the absolute treasure palace. However, to go to the Nine-Smoke Swamp and kill a true god himself, the other true gods of the swamp weren't fools. They wouldn't foolishly let Luo Feng and the others attack without interfering. The moment they did, Luo Feng and the other 39 overlords against the Nine-Smoke Swamp, any group of true gods would be enough to wipe them out. That's crazy, to accumulate 10,000 points, Luo Feng thought. Even if I'm killing an overlord, I'd have to kill a total of 10,000. Overlords are definitely heavily protected in the Nine-Smoke Swamp. I might be able to kill 10 of them, but if I kill too many, it would definitely attract more true gods to rush over. The moment I'm surrounded, especially by a large group of true gods, even with the tomb boat, I might not be able to escape. Luo Feng was very worried. In the Universe C back then he was indeed surrounded and attacked by many of the universe's strongest warriors. However, how many of them were there back then? Secondly, their powers were all suppressed. However, in the Gene World's Nine-Smoke Swamp, hundreds of true gods could easily rush over. Plus their powers weren't restricted. His tomb boat might not be able to escape. That's crazy. Luckily the army mission, Void True Gods won't participate, Luo Feng thought. Otherwise, there would be no hope at all. Army mission, for example, they would send a small team to attack a certain powerhouse. With one look, one could tell that it was for training. For example, Luo Feng's team did not pose any threat to the entire Nine-Smoke Marsh. In that case, the 3 void real gods of the Nine-Smoke Marsh would definitely not participate in the battle. However, true gods could participate. It's hard to succeed, but if we fail, Luo Feng was worried. If they failed, they would be punished by military law, death. With the army's authority in the entire Gene world, with one order, all the tribal power and beast power in the entire Gene world would become their enemy. Even if they wanted to escape, they wouldn't be able to. Of course, if he had 100,000 military merits, he could save his life. As the saying goes, merits offset demerits. But 100,000 military merits? Not just Luo Feng's team, even the other old soldiers didn't have 100,000 military merits. If they had that much, they would have used it to increase their own powers. The entire team was silent outside the hall. They all felt the pressure. Everyone knows. The captain's gaze swept across. The mission has a specific location. In other words, the true god or overlord we have to kill must be the Nine-Smoke Swamp's true god or overlord. When we return after the battle, the army will contact the Nine-Smoke Swamp and confirm our military merit. If it wasn't specified, we could easily kill a true god if we work together. This way we could kill them one by one and waste some time. We would definitely succeed. However, it has to be the Nine-Smoke Swamp. Otherwise, we would easily be surrounded and attacked by the other true gods of the Nine-Smoke Swamp. Once we are surrounded, we won't even be able to escape. We will definitely die. The captain looked around, so I think, this time, we have to work together. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1381. Join forces. Yu Luo, whose entire body was dark green, said in a cold voice. He glanced at the captain and the 17 soldiers behind him. Honorable Captain, do I dare to join hands with you? Back then, I was just a recruit and it was just a normal mission. I tried to curry favor with you and followed behind you, but what happened in the end? You used me as bait. If it wasn't for my strong survival skills and the treasures my grandfather gave me before I joined the army, I'm afraid I would have died in the first mission. A captain like you? You want us to join hands with you? Luo and the 8 soldiers behind him all looked at their captain mockingly. The captain growled, "Every soldier's strength is different, and their status is different. Naturally, their status is different. You were just a new recruit and didn't know anything. How can you blame me? This is a disaster-grade mission, and every disaster-grade mission results in the death of many soldiers. Do the 9 of you think you can succeed? Don't worry. You don't need to worry about that." Luo shook his head and sneered. "The 9 of us will live and die together. When we were together, we swore an oath. We trusted each other with our lives. As for you? Humph, we don't feel at ease leaving ourselves to you. Humph. Don't bother. Pull us? You're probably going to use us at the critical moment, right?" The army of exotic beast soldiers behind Luo roared. Luo looked towards Luo Feng and Wuha as he coldly said, "You 2 recruits are unlucky to encounter a disaster-level mission the moment you enter. But remember, if Kufa is willing to bring you along, that's fine. But this captain? Bringing you along is definitely using you and sending you to your death. Also, Captain, I don't want to be used by you. We'll take our leave first." After Luo finished speaking, he led the 8 soldiers under his command directly to a distorted wormhole in the distance beside the evil hall. This was a wormhole created by an expert, and it could directly lead to the outside of the military camp. Whoosh! The 9 figures instantly disappeared into the wormhole. The captain and the other soldiers were furious. "Kufa." The captain looked at Kufa. "What about you?" "No need." Kufa shook her head and smiled. Her smile was incomparably beautiful. She turned to look at Luo Feng and Wuha. "You 2 new recruits, this is a disaster-level mission, I can't help you. However, the journey to the 9 Smoke Swamp is long, and the journey will be dangerous. I have a true god-grade warship, so come with us. I'll take you to the 9 Smoke Swamp, and we'll split up when we get there." "All right," Wuha hastily replied. "All right." Luo Feng nodded. "Let's go." Under Kufa's order, her 10 soldiers, along with Luo Feng and Wuha, swiftly flew towards the distant wormhole and entered it. Only the captain and a group of sergeants were left. "Captain? Captain, don't worry. Without them, we can still complete the mission assigned by the army," the other soldiers said one after another. The tall and sturdy captain looked at the wormhole, snorting coldly. "Kufa and Luo, how long have they been in the army? They've only completed so many disaster-level missions. Do they think every disaster-level mission is the same? This is the 9 Smoke Swamp. From what I know, not long ago, the 9 Smoke Swamp had a huge battle with Xianyu Mountain, hence the security is extremely tight. To succeed, we'll have to work together. Whatever, since they're so confident, let's see, after this mission ends, how many of them will be left." The captain is someone who survived a rebirth-level mission. How can Luo and Kufa compare? Right, I'm afraid they won't live to see the next era. The sergeants all believed in the captain. Because the captain's strength was without a doubt the strongest in the team, a captain who had lived for an incomparably long time, and even had a mechanical treasure on him, even though he was a bit selfish, in some extremely dangerous missions, following such a captain could result in a few falling. However, following Kufa and Luo, they could all perish. "Go," the captain ordered. "Yes," they all replied. Rumble. The group of sergeants swiftly left. Passing through the wormhole, they directly arrived in the air above a vast forest outside the camp. The beautiful Kufa waved her hand and threw out a black battleship. It was a palace-type treasure. After which, everyone, including Kufa, swiftly entered. Luo Feng and Wuha also entered without hesitation. "From here to the 9 Smoke Swamp." Kufa's voice was clear and melodious. "The fastest will take us 12 days. Everyone calm down and prepare." Luo Feng stood in the cabin, not worried at all. If it was in the cosmic sea, they definitely wouldn't easily enter another warrior's palace treasure, because the moment they entered, the moment the enemy harbored ill intentions, they would immediately bring the palace treasure back to the small universe and kill them. However, in the Gene world, there was no need to worry about this, because in the Gene world, whether it was the undying law lords, or even the even stronger true gods and void true gods, their divine kingdom and miniature universe were both located in the core space of the realm of Gene. In the core of the Gene world, there was an incomparably vast space that should be the source space of the Gene world. There were large amounts of god countries and large amounts of small universes. However, the warriors of the Gene world couldn't enter the source space. Naturally, they couldn't enter their god countries or their small universe. They couldn't use their small universe to kill their enemies. Not just that. There were many differences between the Gene world and the cosmic sea. For example, within the Gene world, not a single one had a clone. The undying law lords, they all only had one god body. Actually, the so-called cloning ability was a gift from the primeval universe. The beings of the Gene world, without the primeval universe's gift, naturally didn't have a clone. Hence, within this absolute treasure battleship, even if Kufa turned hostile, he could at most trap everyone within. To kill them, Kufa couldn't do anything. And the moment the next mission period, 1 era later, arrived, if these soldiers didn't return, the army would investigate. If they were found to be imprisoned by Kufa, Kufa would be punished by military law. When Luo Feng, Wuhe, Kufa and the other soldiers left the camp and headed towards the Nine Smoke Swamp within the Eastern Army camp, outside one of the armory's halls. "This is the armory?" A beast with a huge golden shell looked up at the huge hall. "Heng Xing, you've already gotten a true god-level armor. Why did you still come to the armament point?" Another coiled beast sent a voice transmission to Heng Xing. That beast with the golden shell was precisely Rampage. Back then, as soon as it had arrived in the realm of Gene, it had provoked a true god-level exotic beast. It had purposely fought with that true god-level exotic beast for a long time in order to learn the language of the ancient civilization. However, after that, it had been chased by a group of exotic beasts and true god-level exotic beasts. Fortunately, defense was its forte, so it had managed to escape. Along the way, true gods were already considered strong in the Gene world. Void true gods were after all the true overlords. They wouldn't wander around their own territories. Hence, even though Rampage experienced many things along the way, he was still cautious and made friends with some beasts. He also gradually understood the situation in the Gene world. Very quickly, he understood that the entire Gene world's countless inheritances and treasures were gathered in the army. Hence, he joined the army. Even though most overlords would join the army, that was only the bottom line. Some who trained too quickly and became true gods before joining the army later on. The army welcomed them too. When true gods joined the army, the elimination rate was much lower. Only 3 out of every 10 true gods were eliminated. Rampage's defense was strong, so naturally he made it through and joined the army. He was even given a standard armor. "Why do you care so much?" Rampage said. "Wait for me, I'll go in for a bit." The Rampage demon god immediately charged in. Within the armory's hall, the moment he entered, it was as though time and space changed and he entered another world. "It feels like the human virtual universe," Rampage muttered to himself. Looking at everything before him, it was a very prosperous time and space. There were large amounts of soldiers, and every soldier had a golden silhouette to welcome them. At this moment, another golden silhouette flew in front of Rampage. But it's even more mysterious than the human virtual universe. Only consciousness can enter the virtual universe, but even the body can enter. Rampage thought to himself, "True God soldier." The golden silhouette descended. "State your request. I want to exchange this treasure for military merits, and then I want to exchange it for other treasures." Rampage was a little nervous. At the same time, he held his demonic blood armor. This was the ultimate treasure armor he used to dominate the cosmic sea. It also had a strong willpower impact effect. But now that he had a standard armor, the effect was not much different. The standard battle armor was completely ineffective under grade 7 attacks. Demonic blood armor was ineffective against rank 8 attack. As for the weakening effect, the demonic blood armor's limit was higher. However, to the Rampage Demon God, even if it was the limit of a real god-level standardized battle armor, only a Void Real God's attack could reach that level. There was no need for such a strong armor in the cosmic sea. As for whether it was ineffective against rank 7 or rank 8, among true god powerhouses, which one's attack was lower than rank 8? Buzz! The eyes of the golden figure shot out golden light and he scanned the demonic blood sea armor. This is a Void Real God level armor and it is worth 300,000 military merits. Would you like to exchange it for military merits? When the Rampage Demonic God heard Void Real God level armor, his eyes widened in shock. Do you want to exchange it for military merits? The golden figure asked. Yes, 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 yes. The Rampage Fiend Celestial said hurriedly. He was overjoyed. He had profited. Whoosh! The golden figure stretched out his hand and the demonic blood armor was taken away. He then said, You need to exchange for treasures. This is the list. You can choose whatever you want. Suddenly, a large screen of light appeared in front of the Rampage Demon God. There were many detailed lists on the screen, and under each list was a large number of treasures. After a while, the Rampage Demon God swaggered out of the main hall of the military base. Its soldier friends came to welcome it. We've struck gold this time. I've changed to a supreme treasure palace in one go, and I've even gotten myself a set of 4 supreme treasure offensive treasures. I had everything I needed to attack, defend, and escape. When I return to the cosmic sea, I can really do whatever I want. The Rampage Demon God was extremely carefree. It's a pity that I'm not from a special army. Otherwise, I would be able to exchange for a mechanical treasure. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1382. The difference between a normal army and a special army is huge. Rampage recalled the large amounts of treasures and the requirements to exchange for merit points, many special weapons, precious treasures, powerful inheritances. Normal armies can't even exchange for them with merit points. Even if they can, the price they have to pay is much higher than the special army. But I'm only average in a normal army. How can I enter a special army? Rampage shook his head. He didn't want to die. Who cares, this gene world is just a place to search for opportunities. I'll still have to return to the cosmic sea in the future. After all, there are 3 reincarnations. If I don't pass them, I'll fall. The Rampage Demon God thought to himself, Yes, the most important thing now is to quickly comprehend this paramount offensive treasure set and increase my strength. Once I study it, I'll be at the top of the normal army. This time, he exchanged for the Ultimate Treasure Palace and Ultimate Offensive Treasure Set. The latter set was the most expensive and contained powerful technique. It also contained extremely strong secret technique. Once one comprehended it, it would be helpful in breaking through. Perhaps one day one would be able to reach the limits of a true god. Right. I need to accumulate more merit points. I'll get more supreme treasures and return to the cosmic sea, then exchange them with other experts. Rampage's eyes gleamed. The treasures in the cosmic sea are of different values. Some are true god level, some are void true god level. Then I'll exchange them in the gene world. However, I have to grasp the opportunity. The longer I wait, the more people will know about this secret. Let's go. Let's return to camp. The rampaging demonic god and the other strange beast soldier chatted and laughed as they left the main hall of the military base. 9 Smoke Swamp. It was an incredibly vast swamp. There were countless strong beasts here. It was an extremely powerful beast power. 9 Smoke Swamp's outer area. Who? A black battleship appeared out of nowhere. It was hiding in the wild grass of the outer area of the swamp. The cabin door opened, silhouettes flew out and the ship vanished. We've arrived at 9 Smoke Swamp. Kufa's voice was clear, scanning the surroundings. Every soldier was extremely cautious. Inhi and Wuha, let's split up here. I wish you both good luck. Kufa and the group of soldiers looked at Luo Feng and Wuha, many of them congratulating them. Thank you. Luo Feng and Wuha both said. Among the 3 groups in this team, the one they liked the most was Kufa's group. However, this was a disaster-level mission, so it was normal for the other party not to bring them along. Let's go. Luo Feng and Wuha swiftly transformed into a beam of light and quietly flew into the distance amidst the grass. Kufa and the other soldiers watched as Luo Feng and the others left. The 2 recruits have left. We should start moving. Kofa looked around. Clouds and mist curled up and roars could be heard faintly. Luo Feng and Wuha, these 2 pitiful bastards, were currently carefully hiding in the bushes at the outermost area of the 9 Smoke Swamp. Just like me in the northern Pure Sea, no one dares to provoke me. But after coming to the 9 Smoke Swamp, it has to be like this, Wuha growled unwillingly. All right. We have to at least survive this mission. If we don't complete it, your father won't be able to save you. Luo Feng said. Wuha nodded and then asked, Then Inhi, what do you think we should do? To complete 10,000 points, there are too many beasts within the 9 Smoke Swamp. The moment we start fighting, we'll definitely be discovered. With our strength, even if the 2 of us work together, we won't be able to kill a true god beast, much less 2 combined. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Kill a true god. If he went all out, he could definitely kill a true god. However, it would take a very, very long time. With the environment of the 9 Smoke Swamp, it definitely wouldn't allow him to wantonly attack a true god for that long. Inhi, do you have any ideas? Wuha was anxious. What's the rush? Luo Feng said softly. Our mission time is before the next mission, which is close to an era. That's a long time. We have enough time to slowly search for an opportunity. Wuha let out a sigh of relief. Right, that's a long time. However, I don't have any ideas. Wuha. Luo Feng looked at Wuha. This mission, if you listen to me, we'll move together. If you don't, then we'll have to move alone. Wuha's eyes gleamed. Inhi, you have a plan? As long as you have a plan, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Of course I won't die. I'll think of a plan. Luo Feng said softly. Right now we have to understand the situation around the 9 Smoke Swamp. Only then can we find an opportunity. If we don't even understand the situation and come up with a plan stupidly, that would be stupid. Wuha nodded. Let's go. Luo Feng ordered. Luo Feng brought Wuha and began to quietly explore the outer area of the 9 Smoke Swamp. Everything had to be combined with reality to find an opportunity. In the blink of an eye, half a year had passed. Hua hua, the wild wind blew, the weeds fell. Within the weeds there were 2 tiny silhouettes, almost like ants, looking out from within the weed. In the distance, there were 10 silhouettes engaged in a chaotic battle. Xian, you mountain bastards, you lost the last time and still dare to kill your way here? Go, kill the Xian, you mountain bastards. An exotic beast covered in scales, with 4 claws, a long neck and a triangular head roared. Beside it were 12 other exotic beasts that looked exactly like it. Howl, bastards! Xian, you mountain bastards! Kill them! This group of beasts roared, battling with the weapons wielding tall and sturdy warriors. These tall and sturdy humanoid warriors were all incomparably crazy, wielding their weapons and roaring. The last time your 9 Smoke Swamp lost, our Xian Yu Mountain won. Brothers, kill this group of beasts. Kill! This group of over 20 tribal warriors roared and charged, all of them extremely savage and ferocious, fighting the beasts one by one. In an instant, the surrounding space trembled, the killing frenzied. The tribal warriors had the advantage in numbers, while the beasts had the advantage in body strength. They're killing each other. Wuha stared carefully, communicating, and they don't have true god armor protecting them, and they're killing so crazily, the consumption of their body strength is very fast. I reckon it won't be long before some of them die. We can wait and snatch the weapons left behind. Count it as our merit. This mission, to kill true gods, would use the bodies of true gods as proof. Killing law lords would use the weapons as proof, and the army would confirm with the 9 Smoke Swamp afterward. Hence, as long as they got the weapons, and these beasts were indeed dead, they could definitely be counted as merit. Don't rush. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and communicated. We've been searching the area around the 9 Smoke Swamp for so long, and we haven't gotten any merit at all. Wuha said anxiously. What's the rush? Let me ask you, we've been searching the area for so long, and we've discovered a total of 3 battles. Luo Feng communicated. How vast is the 9 Smoke Swamp? We've only searched a little and we've already discovered 3 battles. Then how many of these battles are there in the entire 9 Smoke Swamp? Wuha was stunned. There have to be over 10,000? Inhi? Wuha looked shocked at Luo Feng. He immediately realized something was amiss. And you should have noticed too, they're fighting, but the other beasts of the 9 Smoke Swamp can definitely feel the ripples, yet they haven't come to help. Luo Feng communicated. The 2 battles before were fine. I didn't hear anything else, however this time I heard Xian Yu Mountain. What power is this Xian Yu Mountain? Xian Yu Mountain? Wuha said. Xian Yu Mountain is another powerful power very close to the 9 Smoke Swamp. It's incomparable to the 9 Smoke Swamp. The 9 Smoke Swamp is a beast power led by 3 Void True Gods, while Xian Yu Mountain is a tribe alliance led by 4 Void True Gods. However, these 2 powers, because they're too huge, they rarely fight. After all, the moment they do start a war, it's always very tragic. Luo Feng nodded. Many thoughts flashed through his mind. If the 2 powers don't fight normally, would there be so many tribe warriors fighting with beasts? Luo Feng asked. No. Wuha said, since the 2 don't fight, they'll restrict their warriors to prevent them from fighting. Luo Feng laughed. However, right now we've encountered 3 battles consecutively. This means that Xian Yu Mountain and the 9 Smoke Swamp are currently at war. It could be that they're temporarily resting. That's why these overlord warriors are fighting each other. What do you mean? Wuha said. Since Xian Yu Mountain and the 9 Smoke Swamp are fighting, Luo Feng said, then we'll think of a way to make the true gods of both sides fight, then collect the corpses. True gods fight? Wuha shook his head. Impossible. It's very hard to incite a large group of true gods to fight, however, it's still possible to incite a single true god to fight. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. He already had a plan in his mind. Listen to me, follow me. Luo Feng and Wuha immediately left the underbrush. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1383. At the borders of the 9 Smoke Marshes, a series of small-scale battles between law lords were occurring. Neither side had sent out any true gods to intervene. To the 2 great powers, before the final battle, these small-scale battles between the law lords under their command was also a form of tempering for the law lords. To Xian Yu Shan and 9 Smoke Swamp, the true gods were the true core battle strength. Kill! Kill! Many tall and sturdy men, their footsteps causing the ground to shake, madly rushing towards the beasts. These men, placed in the cosmic sea, were the pillars of their race. Any one of these beasts, placed in the cosmic sea, was comparable to a beast god. And only in a mysterious place like the Gene world, could the space be stable enough to withstand this battle. If it was in the primal universe, the cosmic sea, the space would have long been shattered. Pung! The beasts rolled and roared, their fangs gleaming coldly. waving their arms and roaring, their axes chopped down. In this region, both sides were incomparably crazy. Retreat. Alliance leaders' orders, retreat immediately. Alliance leaders' orders, retreat immediately. On the side of Xianyu Mountain, 3 of the leading warriors received a message from the message talismans they carried with them. This caused the crazed tribal warriors to immediately change their minds. Brothers, Alliance leaders' orders, retreat. 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 Following the order, this large group of tribal warriors retreated as they fought. Then, they quickly entered a warship and flew away, leaving behind the group of beasts that couldn't catch up, howling and roaring. Retreat. Alliance leaders' orders, retreat. Retreat. Alliance leaders' orders, retreat. Almost at the same time, in the periphery of the Nine Smoke Swamp, large amounts of warriors that were either fighting or hiding yet to make a move all received the order. These teams immediately began to retreat, swiftly leaving the Nine Smoke Swamps area. That's weird. Luo Feng, who was stealthily advancing, suddenly stopped. Why can't I find a single warrior from Xianyu Mountain? Inhe, why can't we see a single warrior from the Xianyu Mountain Alliance? This way, how will your plan work? How will you sow discord? Wuhe asked anxiously. Luo Feng shook his head. He himself didn't know. According to his estimations, Xianyu Mountain would have sent at least 1,000,000 law masters to deal with such a large number of small-scale conflict. As such, there was no way they would allow so many law masters to risk their lives here. There must be a true god secretly guarding it, to prevent special situations from happening. Luo Feng wanted to find the true god of Xianyu Mountain. Forget about true gods, we can't even find an overlord. Wuhe was extremely anxious and helpless. If this goes on, when will we be able to complete the mission given by the army? 10,000 military merits. Cut the crap. Luo Feng was annoyed too. The luxuriant marketing mountains forces that could be seen previously had all disappeared. This made Luo Feng frustrated. If Xianyu Mountain really retreated and no longer interfered, then it would be impossible for the Sandpiper and Clam to fight while the fisherman reaps the benefits. Why aren't you fighting? Previously, we discovered 6 battles between Mt. Xuanyu and the Nine Smoke Swamp. Why did they suddenly disappear? 10 silhouettes were hidden in the bushes. Leading them was a tall and sturdy man with a curved horn. It was the captain and his group. They had encountered 6 battles earlier and waited till the end before finding a chance to kill and snatch. They even disguised themselves as Xianyu Mountain's forces and went to kill the Nine Smoke Swamp's overlord. Since Xianyu Mountain was a super tribe alliance, it was too huge. How many overlords did they have? Even within Xianyu Mountain, there were some overlords that had never seen the other overlord. The Nine Smoke Swamp's beasts couldn't even tell if they were from the tribe alliance. One look, humanoid? That was the tribe's power, kill. Captain, what do we do? What do we do now? Continue to disguise as Xianyu Mountain's warriors and go kill the Nine Smoke Swamp's beasts. The other soldiers looked at the captain, waiting for him to make a decision. The captain's large curved horn had no emotions in his gray eyes. He said solemnly, "No, we haven't discovered any Xianyu Mountain's overlord. Maybe the Xianyu Mountain's overlord has begun to retreat. If we disguise ourselves as the Nine Smoke Swamp's overseer, they will discover that the 10,000+ beasts that were clashing with each other suddenly disappeared, leaving only one place with a single conflict. They will probably suspect us, and may even send out a squad of true gods. At that time, we won't even be able to escape." The soldiers all nodded. "Then what do we do now?" The soldiers all looked at the captain. "Wait," the captain said solemnly. "Xianyu Mountain and the Nine Smoke Swamp are fighting so fiercely. Even if they stop fighting, there should still be some small skirmishes. Instead, the disappearance of these skirmishes is even stranger. Thousands of light-years away from the Nine Smoke Swamp, in the air above a wasteland, majestic figures floated in the air, each of them with incomparably powerful auras. From afar, there were thousands of them, with the occasional true god flying over to join them. At this moment, behind them, a large number of squads were gathering. These were the squads of overlords, and the overlord warriors were densely packed, filling the air above them. Alliance Lord, all squads that went out to temper themselves have returned. All true gods have returned as well. In front of the entire squad of experts, there were 3 figures. The entire Xianyu Mountain had a total of 4 big tribes. Xianyu Mountain was also an alliance of tribes, and every tribe leader was a void true god. These 3 figures all emitted boundless power, and the void surrounding the entire squad seemed to have solidified, completely isolated from the outside world. The master of this void was the one in the middle of the 3 figures. The 9 Smoke Swamp has provoked our Xianyu Mountain many times. A cold voice filled with boundless rage resounded throughout the void. They actually dared to attack our Xianyu Mountain previously. We must let them know that Xianyu Mountain is not a place that the 9 Smoke Swamp has the right to provoke. What we must do is to use death to punish the 9 Smoke Swamp. 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 Immediately, there was a roar of rage, and all the warriors were filled with boundless fighting spirit. Depart. The stone-faced alliance leader immediately gave the order. Rumble. Such a large number of tribal warriors vanished into thin air. Outside the 9 Smoke Swamp, Luo Feng and Wu He were in the grass, thinking of a plan. Right now they couldn't even find a single warrior from Xianyu Mountain. Their plans from before could only be scrap. Do I have to enter the tiger's den? Luo Feng thought. Enter the tiger's den. This was also Luo Feng's last resort. One had to know that in the Gene world, other than his earth body, he also brought the golden horned beast. And the golden horned beast was definitely a beast in the Gene world. He could totally treat the golden horned beast as a wandering beast and enter the 9 Smoke Swamp. If it was a wandering warrior, naturally he wouldn't dare enter the 9 Smoke Swamp. But the wandering exotic beasts dared to do so. After entering the 9 Smoke Swamp, he would find an opportunity. He believed that the 9 Smoke Swamp would send a team to join the army within a period of time. When that time came, he would mix in with the team. As an overlord, the team wouldn't be on guard. He hoped that the team would only be led by a true god. When the team was far enough from the 9 Smoke Swamp, he would suddenly strike. Kill the true god. Easily complete the mission. However, this method of entering the tiger's den had many problems. 1. He didn't know how many Universe Lords would join the army. If there were too many, those Universe Lords would be a huge threat. 2. He didn't know how many true gods the 9 Smoke Swamp would send. After all, the 9 Smoke Swamp was much stronger than the Desolate Tribe. Lure? Lure them out? Sneak in? Or do I have to painstakingly hunt down the Law Lords and spend close to an era to gather 10,000? Luo Feng was troubled. These methods all had a chance of success, however they all had high risk. Only the Sandpiper and Clam fighting would work the fastest. As long as a true god from the 9 Smoke Swamp died, he would immediately snatch the body and flee. With the Tomb Boat's abilities, he would naturally be able to swiftly flee. Just as Luo Feng was troubled, he suddenly felt something and looked up. In the distance, the sky above the 9 Smoke Swamp was suddenly covered in darkness. One could only see many majestic silhouettes. These tall silhouettes were all 10,000 kilometers long. With one look, one would know that if there were more than 10,000 people, it would be considered a sea of people. Each of these tribal warriors was as tall as a mountain. The millions of tribal warriors in the sky were like endless dark clouds, covering the entire sky. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. He had never seen such a shocking scene before. Great battle. Beside Wu He's head rose fiercely. His eyes were filled with excitement and joy. Great battle, it's a great battle. It's a great battle between Xian Yu Mountain and the Nine Smoke Swamp. A true great battle. It's not like the small-scale battles from before. Ha ha ha, it's too exciting. In Northern True Ocean, ever since I was born, I've only seen one large-scale battle. Our Northern True Ocean is too strong. None of the surrounding powers dare challenge us. Wow, it's too exciting. The three at the front are definitely Void True Gods. Void True Gods are participating. It's truly a great battle. Rumble, 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 the sky and land changed colors. Time and space changed. In an instant, the entire Nine Smoke Swamp, Luo Feng, Wuha, as well as the captain's group, Kufa's group, and Yu Luo's group that were hiding in another area were naturally enveloped within. The entire Nine Smoke Swamp. In an instant, the outermost area became a blurry void. The sky above the Nine Smoke Swamp, the surroundings, and the bottom of the endless swamp, everything was blurry void. It was as if the entire Nine Smoke Swamp was instantly cut out and isolated. With a thought, the void is formed. Luo Feng muttered. Void True God. He had long heard of how terrifying a Void True God was. Every Void True God is an overlord in the Gene world. If it's in the cosmic sea, they can transcend reincarnation and establish a sacred land universe, allowing their race to never fall. Monday, I'm still looking for recommendation votes. Every brother has a recommendation vote. Right now, there are very few recommendation votes. Please support me. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian. Come and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1384. Ever since he entered the world of Gene, Luo Feng was naturally curious about the Void Real God, which was above the True God. He tried to find out more information, combining the detailed information about the True Gods that he received from the Broken East River lineage and the information he learned from chatting with Bei Feng and Wuha in the world of Gene. True Gods had their own small universe, and their words were law. However, the words of a true God could only be achieved in the cosmic sea and the primeval universe. Could not be achieved in the world of Gene. This was because the words were a form of respect the primeval universe's origin will had for the true God. Hence, it temporarily retreated and allowed the true God to control a region. Only then could the true God achieve the words of law. However, once the primeval universe's origin will stopped retreating, such as when the true God and the master of the universe were fighting, the true God would not be able to achieve the words of law. It was obvious. The words of law was not an ability that the true God had comprehended after comprehending some laws. It was just a gift. Just like the clone ability and many other talents, they were all gifted by the primeval universe. Once the primeval universe took back the gift, they would not have it anymore. However, there was a huge leap from true God to Void Real God. Once one became a Void Real God, he would have a deeper understanding of the entire universe. According to the laws, he would be able to control a piece of void. This was not a gift, but absolute control. Even the primeval universe's origin could not take away this ability that he had comprehended and controlled. Void Real God. With a thought, the void was formed. In the vast void, it could unleash an incomparably terrifying combat strength. Real gods were unable to rely on the verbal enforcement law to kill masters of the universe. However, Void Real gods could rely on the void thought to kill real gods and masters of the universe wantonly. This was the difference between being bestowed by an origin will and being able to control it by oneself. With the power of one thought of void, any Void Real God could become an overlord in the world of Gene. The entire Nine Smoke Swamp was completely isolated from the outside world. The Nine Smoke Swamp was surrounded by the void. Idiot from Xianyu Mountain, you dare to offend my Nine Mist Swamp? A sweet-sounding voice that sounded like gurgling spring water and seemed to directly enter one's soul rang out across the entire Nine Smoke Swamp. At that moment, the power of the space surrounding the Nine Smoke Swamp increased by a level, as if two different spaces were fighting for control. Rumble, a large number of towering and ferocious figures suddenly charged out from the depths of the Nine-Smoke Swamp. Exotic beast true gods roared and howled. At the very front of the thousands of exotic beast true gods were three even larger figures. The one in the middle had jade-green scales, and it had a body with many tentacles like an octopus. It also had a total of 9 heads, and all of them had breathtakingly beautiful faces. It was Nine-Smoke. According to the legends, it was an ancient and terrifying existence that had always ruled over the Nine-Smoke Swamp. The Nine-Smoke Swamp was named after Nine-Smoke. Swoosh, 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 after the core group of real gods in the Nine-Smoke Swamp charged out under the leadership of the 3 void real gods, the mighty group of law masters also charged into the sky at high speed. Among the lush weeds, Luo Feng and Wu He raised their heads carefully and looked at the confrontation between the 2 super armies in the sky. Nine-Smoke is a very powerful void real god, Wu He exclaimed. The Nine-Smoke Swamp is famous because of her. Even my father, the master of the northern Zhenhai, was impressed by Nine-Smoke's power. However, she has a strange temper and is hard to serve. Hence, the truly powerful void real gods are unwilling to be with her. But there are 3 void real gods in the Nine-Smoke Swamp, Luo Feng replied. That's because… Wu He laughed weirdly. The other 2 void real gods in the Nine-Smoke Swamp are being chased by their enemies and have nowhere else to run. Hence, they are relying on Nine-Smoke for protection. According to my father can easily kill the 2 void real gods. Luo Feng was shocked. There was such a huge difference between void real gods? That was right. He was a master of the universe, and he was confident that he could kill a real god within a longer period of time. As for masters of the universe of the same level, he could definitely kill them in one move if he unleashed his full power. If a void real god of the same level were to fight, even if he wasn't as strong as he was, it shouldn't be a problem for him to suppress them. Wu He, I know that all the super tribes and super beast forces only have void real gods at most. I've never heard of anyone stronger than a void real god, Luo Feng asked. Is there anyone stronger? Although he wasn't clear about the levels above real god. In the inheritance of Duan Dong River, it was recorded that the end of the path of law was to control the law of chaos. The law of chaos wasn't the end. For example, the 3rd generation patriarch of Duan Dong River was above the law of chaos. As for the void real god, without a doubt, he hadn't even mastered the law of chaos. No matter how strong the tribes and beast forces are, they only have a void real god at the helm, Wu He said matter-of-factly. As for the stronger ones, it revealed a look of anticipation. Yes. Luo Feng listened carefully. Wu He said slowly, that's the highest leader of the entire Eastern Army, the general of the Eastern Army. General? Luo Feng's eyes brightened. In the entire Jin world, the army is the strongest. The army is divided into the Eastern Army, Northern Army, Southern Army, and Western Army. The 4 generals who lead the 4 armies are the highest existences in the Jin world. It's said that they have surpassed the void real god and reached a higher level. Wu He's eyes were full of hope. What level? Luo Feng asked. I don't know, Wu He shook his head regretfully. My father didn't tell me either. Luo Feng was confused. Why are you looking at me like that? Wu He was furious. If you really want to know, go to the army and exchange military merits for detailed information. There are naturally records. Wu He was dissatisfied. Although he was the son of the master of northern Zhenhai, he was actually the weakest among the many children of the master of northern Zhenhai. While Luo Feng and Wu He were discussing in the bushes, they raised their heads to watch, up in the sky, the highest leaders of the Nine-Smoke Swamp, and Xian Yushan's side finally broke down after talking for a while. Jiuyan, you're too arrogant. You're chewing on the bones and not leaving any soup. Do you really think the 4 void real gods of Xuan Yushan can't deal with you? You want to drink soup? Submit to me and become my underlings. I'll reward you if I'm happy. Ah! You're courting death. All the warriors of Xuanyushan, punish these despicable Jianzhe bastards. Along with the angry roars, the two camps in the sky started a chaotic battle. As the saying goes, soldiers against soldiers, generals against generals. Both camps were rushing towards each other rapidly. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. He felt two huge dark clouds that covered half the sky collided and fused. It's starting. Wuhe was extremely excited. It's starting. Luo Feng held his breath. The battle was ever-changing and it was hard to say which side would win. Although the Void Real Gods had a great influence on the overall situation, the low-level warriors had a greater influence. When the quantity reached a certain level, it could make up for the difference in quality. Overlord weaker than a true god? However, when over 10,000 law masters combined their powers and attacked together, any true god would be forced to flee in a sorry state. True god was weaker than a Void Real God? Over 1,000 true gods could still fight against a Void Real God. If they also had a mechanical treasure, such as the Jiupai, 100 true gods could control it, allowing them to unleash the power of thousands or even tens of thousands of true gods working together. Moreover, it had higher defense and was more agile. 100 true gods controlling Jiyan could fight against a powerful Void Real God like Jiyan. As for some of the weaker Void Real Gods affiliated with Jiuyan, they might even be killed. So in a true super battle, once a mechanical treasure like a true god was equipped, it would be extremely useful. For example, Jin Luo Heaven and Earth, which required at least 1,000,000 real gods to work together to control, could kill a group of Void Real Gods with just one attack. Of course, the Jin Luo world was ruled by the great godly king. That was why the realm of Jin forbade the use of mechanical treasures that were of a group nature. Not to mention Jin Luo Heaven and Earth, even the Jiupai, which was jointly controlled by 100 true gods, did not have a single tribal force or beast force. Kill! 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 The skies darkened as a chaotic battle ensued. As the two superpowers clashed, the ones who died the fastest were the large numbers of law lords, universe lords. In just a short period of time, a large number of law lords had their divine bodies depleted, and in the face of some terrifying collective attacks, some law lords were directly swept away and killed, their weapons and armor falling to the ground. Weapons, armors. Wuhe watched as law overlords fell one after another, as well as weapons and armors falling to the ground. Wuhe grew excited. These are all military merit. Wuhe's eyes were burning with excitement. Looking at the distant falling weapons and armors, he looked at Luo Feng and communicated, "In he, hurry up. These armors aren't treasures at all. Other than a small portion of the warriors collecting them, they didn't pay much attention to the rest. We can definitely get large amounts of armors. Maybe we can get 10,000. Then the military mission will be completed and we can escape this predicament." The military mission had two proofs: the corpse of a true god and the weapon of an overlord, verifying that the overlord was really dead. Even if Wuhe didn't kill them, as long as Wuhe obtained the weapon, it would still be considered military merits. It was obvious that this system was secretly encouraging people to kill each other. The number of 9 smoke swamps overlords participating in the battle is just over 10 million. Just you alone wanting to collect over 10,000 weapons and armors, that's too unrealistic. Luo Feng shook his head. If you want to collect, you'll have to collect the corpses of the true gods and succeed in one go. You. Wuhe was anxious, looking at the distant weapons and armors falling to the ground. In he you. Wuhe was anxious and furious, raging, "How strong do you think you are? Every true god is an important warrior of a large power. The moment a true god falls, there will be specialized true gods to retrieve the body. They won't even give you a chance. Fighting head-on? In such a huge battle between the two powers, you still dare to participate in a battle between the true gods? That's courting death. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1385. Luo Feng shook his head. You idiot. Wu was really anxious. Back when he entered the army, he saw that Luo Feng could beat him, and they were the only two new recruits. Hence he followed Luo Feng, and according to his experience, if he acted weak and followed Luo Feng, with his trump cards, Luo Feng would die first. He just didn't expect Luo Feng to be so crazy. He didn't dare to continue following Luo Feng's madness. If this went on, Luo Feng would die, but Wu himself wouldn't be able to escape the true God-level battle. Wu raged. You don't even know what a disaster-level mission means. Since it's like this, you go all out, I'll go all out. I won't accompany you anymore. So, Wu immediately left swiftly heading towards the battlefield. Luo Feng watched as Wu left, sighing. His only comrade after joining the army had left just like that. He never truly trusted me. Luo Feng shook his head. He continued to watch the battle from within the grass. After a while, he began to make his move. The entire Nine Smoke Swamp had 3 large battlefields. They were the largest and most chaotic, the Law Lord battlefield, the True God battlefield with over 10,000 True Gods, and the Void True God battlefield with the 6 Void True Gods, of which the Law Lord battlefield took up the largest area, and was very scattered. In the sky, swamps, there were Law Lords fighting. Even though the True Gods too had battles in the sky and swamps, they were gathered together, mainly around the Nine Smoke Swamp's Wisteria Swamp. After all, their numbers weren't too high, the Wisteria Swamp's area was enough for them to kill, and in this area, the Law Lords all avoided, not daring to get close. After all, in a True God battle, the moment one got caught up in it, it was easy to lose one's life. True God-level battlefield. Luo Feng advanced stealthily, his speed incomparably fast, rushing towards the True God battlefield. However, along the way, he met with 3 battles, all from the Nine Smoke Swamp's Law Lords. When they saw Luo Feng, they immediately recognized him as a warrior from Xian Yu Mountain. During those 3 battles, Luo Feng only wanted to reach the True God battlefield as soon as possible. He couldn't be bothered to bully the Law Lords. However, the opponent forced him to fight. Luo Feng had no choice. In these 3 battles, Luo Feng unintentionally killed an Law Lord. After spending a while, Luo Feng stood in a swamp and gazed into the distance. Right there, Luo Feng watched quietly. In the distance, there was a large amount of purple vine grass in the swamp. This was the Wisteria Swamp region of the Nine Smoke Swamp. In the sky above this region, a large number of Beast True Gods and Horde True Gods were currently fighting against each other. There were even quite a few True Gods charging out of the swamp. It was clear that there was a chaotic battle going on below the swamp. Looks like they don't want too many deaths. Luo Feng watched. The True Gods of both sides are mixing and killing each other. There's me in you and you in me. This way, there won't be a large-scale collective attack. This kind of one-on-one or two-on-one fight. Only after a long time would one of them fall, but if it was a group attack, a single sweep would result in several deaths. Both sides rushed into each other's camp at the same time and engaged in a chaotic battle. After all, True Gods were different from Law Masters. There were far fewer True Gods, and not a single superpower was willing to waste their True God powerhouses. Corpse. Luo Feng looked expectantly. He was waiting for the True God corpse to appear. While Luo Feng was hiding not too far from the True God battlefield, quietly waiting for the opportunity to descend. In another region of the True God battleground, a group of Law Lords was also hidden. Captain, he's too powerful. The True God battlefield is so terrifying, yet the captain actually easily snatched a True God corpse. Powerful? Right, the captain seems to be very simple. If it was me, I definitely wouldn't be able to survive. 18 Masters of the Laws were currently hidden in the distant wild grass. They were the captains of the squad that the Python River Army had sent out this time. The other soldiers were currently flattering the captain of the squad. Not too long ago, the captain had revealed his strength and obtained the corpse of a true deity that belonged to the Nine-Smoke Swamp. They were praising him for two reasons. Firstly, they truly admired him. The captain was indeed strong. Secondly, they hoped that the captain could snatch a few more true god corpses, helping them complete the army's mission. All right. Listening to the praises, the captain, who was enjoying it, finally communicated. The other soldiers might not be clear, but the captain was very clear on how dangerous it was before. Only once, not twice. The captain's gaze swept across, immediately destroying the hopes of these soldiers. Before, in the true god battlefield, none of the overlords dared to get close. I suddenly appeared and snatched a corpse. It was out of their expectations. They weren't prepared at all, only then was I able to swiftly escape. Even so, I was still attacked once. If I had run slower and was surrounded by a few true gods. The captain shook his head as he spoke. He had experienced too many missions. Army missions after army missions, even the reincarnation level missions. He had survived them all. He was very clear, at the critical moment, he had to act, he had to risk it all. He brought this group of soldiers, at least he would first get a corpse. If he could complete this mission, it wouldn't be too late to help the other soldiers after that. Captain, they all looked at the captain. I won't not help you. The captain communicated, if you don't help, I'll leave immediately. Wait, when the time comes, listen to my arrangements, I'll naturally do my best to help you all. Captain, just give your orders, we'll definitely follow. All of the soldiers said that, but within they were worried. No matter what, the captain already had a true god corpse, enough point. However, they had a total of 17 other soldiers, which meant they needed 17 true god beast corpses from Nine-Smoke Swamp's side. 17 true god corpses. All of the soldiers were worried. Before, the captain seemed relaxed. As long as we can catch them off guard and swiftly snatch the corpse, then immediately escape. Even I might succeed. Amongst the soldiers, some felt that the captain was relaxed, thinking that they might take a risk, but they might succeed. If they didn't get the corpse at the end, then they would do it if they were forced into a corner. The captain swept his gaze, frowning as he communicated, remember, only once, not twice. The first time I was careless, the second time I'll definitely be cautious. Those true gods didn't catch me, but they won't let me succeed again. You mustn't take the risk. If anyone takes the risk, I'll immediately leave this battlefield. Yes. We naturally won't act recklessly. All of them replied. The captain and the other soldiers were patiently waiting for their chance. Luo Feng was waiting too. However, he didn't know. The captain and the other soldiers were also in the surrounding area. After all, the captain was too experienced, his plans, decisions, etc. were more direct. He arrived earlier than Luo Feng and obtained a true god corpse earlier. One thought into the void. The entire Nine-Smoke Swamp is enveloped by the void. Within this area, any domain-type treasures are useless. Even if Wu Yue is still here, his control over time and space would be useless. Luo Feng understood this. On this battlefield, only a void true god could control the entire situation. The other true gods and overlords could only rely on their eyes to observe and divine energy to sense. I can only rely on my eyes to observe and divine energy to sense. Luo Feng observed carefully. Rumble, 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 rumble. It was as though the sky and earth were collapsing. The true god battlefield was in chaos. From afar, Luo Feng was observing every area carefully, waiting for an opportunity to appear. Pung! A ferocious body was blasted out of the muddy swamp, flying upside down. Its huge body rolled on the ground as if it had fallen into a state of unconsciousness, following which, a tribe true god rushed out of the swamp like lightning, wielding a peculiar stone rod. The stone rod's end was extremely sharp. He raised the stone rod high, following the flying and rolling body of the beast, he fiercely stabbed. Chi! The sharp end of the stone rod directly pierced the strange beast's head. This stab directly pushed the rolling strange beast's corpse into the swamp. The huge strange beast's corpse crashed down with a loud bang, causing water to splash in all directions. The stone rod pierced into the beast's head, terrifying ripples emitted from the stone rod. Following a painful cry, the true god beast finally lowered its head and stopped moving. Ha ha ha! The tribe true god immediately laughed maniacally. Rumble! 3 beast silhouettes swept over at the same time. I can only bully those punks without true god armor. Damn! Xian Yushan tribe's trash. The 3 beast true gods howled and rushed over, causing the tribe true god to not dare face them at all, immediately fleeing. As the saying goes, pick the soft persimmon. Amongst the large number of true god beasts and tribe true gods, over half had never joined the army before. Therefore, there were indeed many who did not have true god-level armor. For example, when the rampage fiend god had just descended, the true god-mutated beast that he had encountered did not have true god-level armor protecting its body. In the distance, true god corpse, 9 mist swamps side. The group of soldiers under the captain all stared with envy. Don't take the risk. I said before, don't take the risk. The captain glanced around. His prestige and strength made the group of soldiers hold back their envy. After all, they didn't have confidence in themselves, they wanted the captain to fight for them. Only the captain wasn't stupid. Far away from the true god battlefield, in another area, Luo Feng too was staring, looking at the distant malevolent corpse lying in the swamp. That 100,000 kilometers long corpse, over half of it was under the swamp's surface, the rest were exposed. True god corpse, 9 mist swamp side. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the battlefield where the other true gods were, his god energy sensing, constantly confirming each and every position. At this time, they are in a chaotic battle. Even if they try to stop me, according to the distance, at most 5 true gods can make it in time. Just 5 true gods, no threat at all. 8 paths appeared in Luo Feng's mind. He immediately made his move. As he neared, according to the battle movements of the true gods, Luo Feng constantly adjusted his path, calculating the danger. So, I'm about to reach the danger zone. From now on, I can be discovered at any second. The later I'm discovered, the easier it will be for me to escape. Luo Feng had already rushed into the terrifying earth-shattering true god battlefield. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1386. Luo Feng was now the size of a speck of dust, within the vast purple vines. He was moving at an incomparably terrifying speed. Even though his body was small, the ripples caused by his speed could still be felt through his god energy. Rumble! Over 10,000 true gods were killing each other, the entire place was dark and the ripples were chaotic. Unless one was close to Luo Feng, otherwise the small ripples caused by his flight wouldn't attract anyone's attention. Right there, Luo Feng swiftly flew towards the true god's corpse. That beast true god's corpse laid in the huge swamp. Over half of the 100,000 kilometers long corpse was submerged in the swamp, a portion was exposed. And as Luo Feng swiftly neared, of the 3 true gods closer to the beast true god's corpse, 2 tribe true gods were attacking 1 beast true god. The 3 locked onto that small ripple. According to it, they instantly locked onto their target. Overlord! The 3 saw the small speck of dust like Luo Feng's silhouette. Before, there was an overlord who stole the corpses of our 9 smoke swamp warriors. These body thieves must have accepted an army mission. The army mission is very difficult, but stealing the corpses of our 9 smoke swamp warriors, they deserve to die. The 2 tribe true gods and 1 beast true god immediately stopped fighting. Over the long years, The two neighboring great powers of Nine Smoke Swamp and Xian Yu Mountain frequently fought. However, this sort of slaughter was not only for the sake of profit, but also for the sake of tempering the masters of laws. Hence, other than the overlords killing madly, the true gods and even void true gods were hard to control. Every time they fought, the weaker true gods would be killed. Very few true gods who had truly experienced the hardships of the army would perish. Everyone had a common understanding of this. However, the fact that the corpses of every fallen true god would be stolen as spoils of war was something that this group of living true gods could not tolerate. Rumble! 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 3 beams of light formed 3 glaring arcs and headed straight for Luo Feng. Hua! A rainbow-like 3-colored silhouette, with an even faster speed, headed straight for the small speck of dust. I've been discovered. Luo Feng looked at the 3 incoming beams. However, just 3 true gods, nothing to worry about. Pung! The 3-colored afterimages swept over, and it was impossible to conceal them anymore. Then, there was no need to conceal them anymore. Rumble! Luo Feng's god body fiercely expanded, swiftly reaching 100,000 kilometers tall. Not too far away from the true god-level battlefield, a group of soldiers led by the captain were vigilantly watching the true god-level battlefield. Many of them were paying more attention to the true god corpse on 19 Smoky's side. There's someone who wants to snatch the corpse. Suddenly, a soldier transmitted his voice over. The captain and the others immediately looked over. There really is. The captain laughed. Everyone, did you see that? The one who went to snatch the corpse was quite careful. However, he was instantly stopped by 3 real gods. Why? Because I snatched a corpse from your captain before, they're on their guard. If you go, you will be besieged by 3 real gods. If you are unable to escape in a short amount of time, you will be besieged by 5, 7 or even 10 real gods. The other soldiers, especially those who were prepared to risk their lives, instantly felt a lingering fear. Look, which arrogant guy is it? Is it Kufa? Is it you, Luo? The captain was extremely relaxed. It must be that idiot you, Luo, a soldier immediately said. Rumble! In the distance, as Luo Feng's god body expanded, it appeared. It's. Immediately, they all looked shocked at Luo Feng's appearance. It's that recruit. The one called He. The recruit called He. He actually dares to snatch the corpse, he even dares to copy the captain? They were all extremely shocked. He's dead for sure, the captain said coldly. The captain was very clear on how bad of a situation that recruit He was in. Even if it was him, under such a situation, he would have to take out his most precious mechanic treasure and rely on it to unleash extraordinary strength to escape. He's dead for sure. Let's see how he dies. The soldiers all stared. They had no friendship with this new member of their team. Only to see, as Luo Feng's body expanded, one hand on the handle and the other on the back of the blade, he blocked the 3-colored light from the side. He also borrowed the force of the collision to form an arc and rush towards the true god corpse at an even faster speed. Not bad borrowing force. To be able to borrow force from a true god's attack, no wonder he can enter our Python River army. The soldiers all nodded and exchanged words of praise. This borrowing force seemed simple, but they had gone through much training to master it. The captain nodded. This recruit is not bad. It's a pity he met a disaster-level mission the moment he arrived. It's a pity those 3 true gods have arrived. According to their speed, that recruit probably won't even make it to the true god corps. They continued to watch in the distance. As Luo Feng rushed towards the corpse, the 3 true gods were filled with rage and confidence as they charged over. He's dead for sure. What a pity. They all intentionally sighed. True. The captain had just opened his mouth, but as though his throat was being choked, his eyes stared wide, unable to say a word as he looked in the distance. The other team members too were all shocked as they looked in the distance. There was an unbelievable scene, a terrifying and shocking scene. Schwa, schwa, schwa. With one hand holding the saber was like a phantom. His body moved along with the saber, and for a moment, his entire person also became a phantom. It was as if he had transformed into a gigantic and incomparably ghostly saber shadow. Under the joint attack of the three true gods, this blurry saber shadow was erratic. After clashing with them a few times, it instantly flew out of the joint attack of the three true gods. Luo Feng's training of over 8 million eras, this was one of the two greatest rewards to his strength. Close combat dodging technique, flowing gold. Including the captain, the 18 soldiers were all stunned at this scene. This was an unbelievable scene. An overlord actually easily dodged and escaped from the combined attacks of three true gods. Even the captain, who had been through countless missions, and even the reincarnation missions, knew that he couldn't easily escape from the combined attacks of three true gods. What kind of terrifying close combat, dodging, and changing ability was this? The two of you, report your names and tell me what you're good at. Me Wuha, I'm good at, oh, my god body is big enough, my god body is over 1 million kilometers long. Me Milky Way. I'm a little stronger than Wuha, my close combat dodging ability is a little better. The shocked captain recalled the first time he met this recruit Milky Way. A little better? What's a little better? The captain trembled within. Of all the overlords I've seen, none have such terrifying close combat dodging abilities. How would he know? Luo Feng had the inheritance space with him. It was Broken East River's base to nurture the next generation of inheritors. Within, other than the time acceleration training space, there was a specialized training space for one's strength. Within that space, there were 282 opponents, including the previous generations of Broken East River, of which the strongest was naturally the third-generation ancestor. Luo Feng had spent over 8 million eras of time. His blade technique rewards were actually the smallest. After all, the previous generations of Broken East River had only created a few Pinnacle Level 7 blade technique. Luo Feng used the Pinnacle Level 6 blade technique, Nirvana Rebirth, as a foundation, and took another step forward, creating a Level 7 blade technique, Light of Water and Fire. This had a limited effect on Luo Feng's strength. It could only be considered one of the many rewards of the 8 million eras. Of the two strongest rewards, one of them was the close combat movement technique, Flowing Gold. As it was very hard to raise his blade technique, Luo Feng began to research on close combat dodging. He often battled with many virtual opponents in the virtual space, even battling with the third-generation ancestor. It was a pity that the third-generation ancestor only suppressed it to the level of an overlord, easily killing Luo Feng. After all, the third-generation ancestor's attacks and level of profoundness stood at the pinnacle of the ancient civilization. Under such training, absorbing the experiences of the past generations, many exquisite techniques were used as reference. Finally, Luo Feng created Flowing Gold. Large amounts of absolute technique inheritance, training with the strong in the virtual space, his own comprehension, all these factors combined to create such a technique. Not a single one could be missing. The captain and the other 18 soldiers were in a state of shock as they watched the distant events unfold. That recruit he first used inconceivable close combat dodging techniques, easily rushing out of the three true gods' encirclement, immediately arriving beside the corpse of the true god and immediately taking it away. Then, he dashed to another route. His figure was like a huge saber that pierced through the sky quickly. Even the other two real gods tried to stop him. However, they were easily shaken off by the frightening ability to change directions. So. Within the purple vine grass, recruit he just directly dove into it, completely disappearing from sight. Crazy. Too strong. How can he have such a powerful movement technique? The soldiers were all shocked beyond words. If the two powers were to engage in a chaotic battle, with his close combat dodging abilities, even if the other overlords die, oh, even if more than half of the true gods die, it still wouldn't be his turn. They were all shocked. The captain was shocked too. He had been through so much training, and felt that he was definitely at the pinnacle of the overlord. Even in the entire Eastern Army, there were probably only a few freaks who were stronger than him. But he had never imagined that a law master could reach such a terrifying level of close combat dodging. If I didn't borrow the help of mechanical treasures and fought him fairly, I would have been toyed with to death. The captain couldn't help but feel a lingering fear when he thought of the battle with recruit Enhe. Of course, in a life-and-death battle, weapons and mechanical treasures are also a part of one's strength. With the help of mechanical treasures, my strength has skyrocketed. It also happens to counter him, and I can definitely kill him. Only then did the captain calm down. Some powerful mechanical treasures could even cause an expert's strength to skyrocket. He wrote 2 chapters last night and 1 this morning. He was going to post it together. Tomato was currently in Shaoxing. The hotel didn't have internet, and the wireless signal wasn't good. He had asked the hotel staff to fix it for a long time, but they hadn't been able to. Tomato felt ashamed that he hadn't updated for so long. Right now, Tomato was updating outside. He would try to write another chapter in the afternoon, and find a place to post it in the evening. Sweat. It was so inconvenient to not have internet. Tomato dreamed last night that he could suddenly go online. I'm going to faint. Yep, Tomato will update a 4th chapter in the evening. Tomorrow, Tomato would take a bus back to Shanghai, and tomorrow night, he would be able to update as usual. For the next few days, please bear with me. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidien.com and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1387. For example, with a level 7 attack, with the help of a mechanical treasure, he might be able to reach a level 10 attack. This was something that no secret skill could achieve. This was also the charm of mechanical treasures. Of course, since everyone was using mechanical treasures, those who were more powerful would naturally be able to unleash more fighting power. With Recruit Enhe's power, as long as he is given time, he will definitely be able to earn military merits and improve himself, the leader thought to himself. Looks like I have to befriend Recruit Enhe after I return to the army. If I am unable to become a real god before the next rebirth level mission, I'm afraid the hope of passing the rebirth level mission lies with Recruit Enhe. The leader was clear. He might be able to kill Recruit Enhe with external method. But if Recruit Enhe was given time, he would definitely surpass him. Since he couldn't win, it would be better to be friends. That overlord is too strong. Out of all the true gods in our Xianyu mountain, not one of them has such terrifying close combat skills. The 5 true gods that blocked Luo Feng from the front and back were all incomparably shocked. Especially the 3 real gods who blocked at the start, they were confused. With the 3 of them attacking, the overlord had easily escaped from their encirclement. It was as if he was toying with them. This overlord will definitely become a real god. He will be the scariest real god. Once he uses the mechanical treasures in the army, he will be able to fight against a void real god. It is rare for a real god to fight against a void real god, but if he wants to do it, the overlord can definitely do it. The 5 real gods thought so. The higher one went, the weaker the mechanical treasures. There were many overlord who could fight against a real god with the help of a mechanical treasure. It was rare for a real god to fight against a void real god with the help of a mechanical treasure in the entire world of Jin. But they thought, once the overlord became a real god, he would definitely be able to do it. In the sky above the 9 smoke swamp, a strong wave spread. But in reality, the 6 void real gods from the 9 smoke swamp and Xuanyu mountain were floating in the air, not fighting at all. Jiu Yen, how many times has it been that we can't defeat you even after the 3 of us joined forces? The 3 void real gods from Xuanyu mountainside. Chu Wan, The monstrous octopus-like Nine Smoke with 9 humanoid faces spoke with a beautiful voice. You guys are also quite strong. Even with just 3 of you, I couldn't break through your joint technique. If all 4 void real gods from Xuanyu Mountain were to come, I reckon it would be even. The 6 void real gods discovered what was happening below them at the same time. What amazing close-range dodging! Amazing! Even a void real god could not help but praise him. Using the blade as the blade's edge and my body as the blade's back, I've transformed into a blade. When I move, I'll be even more ferocious and sharp. Sometimes I'll use the blade's edge to strike the enemy. By the time the enemy tries to block, I'll have already flown far away. Nine Smoke sighed. What an ingenious idea! To think that he was able to create such a close-range movement technique. The body is the back of the saber and the saber is the edge. The other void real gods instantly understood even more. These void real gods also understood that they were much stronger than the Master of Laws in close-range dodging. However, they relied on a stronger foundation, stronger comprehension, and control of the void. In terms of the exquisiteness of the close-range movement technique, the ingenious concept, and the many unimaginable aspects, they knew that when they were still Masters of Laws, they were far inferior to this new recruit. This new recruit must be nurtured by the Eastern Army. I'm afraid he's on the list. One by one, the void real gods judged. Nine Smoke said, he's definitely a rare super genius in our gene world. As long as he's given enough time, he might even become a titled expert in the future. Titled expert? The other void real gods were astonished. Additional title? Even among the 6 void real gods, none of them had ever been sealed before. It was unknown how many void real gods wished to add the word gene to the title. For real gods, there was indeed a possibility of additional titles. However, the requirements were even more terrifying, to an unimaginable extent. The lower the power, the higher the requirements for additional titles. If one reached the level of General of the Eastern Army, he would be directly conferred a title. Far away, in the bushes of the swamp, Luo Feng was hidden within. I've obtained a true god corpse from Nine Smoke Swamp. At least I've completed this calamity-level mission. Luo Feng smiled. His biggest gain was not the true god corpse, but, when I was traversing the true god battlefield just now, I collected the blood, scales, and hair of 212 true gods that were left in the swamp or in the bushes. I'm aiming to become a true god with god power. However, the genes of true gods were pitifully small. This time I've collected enough. When this era ends, I can descend or leave the gene world again. At that time, I'll let the new ocean clone bring the blood, scales, hair, and other things back. Luo Feng was filled with joy. He continued to watch from afar outside the true god battlefield, watching the opportunities that might appear in the true god battlefield. After Captain and Recruit Yin He, the 2 overlords who had stolen the corpses of the true gods, the over 10,000 true gods who had been fighting in the Wisteria swamp area were all furious. They didn't care about the captain who stole the true god corpse, but they were amazed by the new recruit Yin He who stole the true god corpse. No matter how amazed they were, stealing the true god corpse was a provocation to the living true gods. Capture the 2 of them! Capture them, otherwise this will be a humiliation to our Nine Smoke Swamp and your Xianyu Mountain. Next time, the moment they appear again, we have to capture them. The group of true gods were all extremely vigilant. During the battle, there would occasionally be a true god that fell in the swamp. The other true gods, intentionally or unintentionally, wouldn't stray too far from the area. They all used their god energy to sense the area. The moment there was a ripple, they would swiftly surround the area. However, Luo Feng and the captain were extremely astute. They both had a Nine Smoke Swamp true god corpse in their hands. They weren't anxious at all. On the other hand, the battle between Xuanyu Mountain and Nine Mist Swamp was a very long one. There were head-on battles where one side fought furiously, and there were also battles where one side ran and the other chased. The longer this crazy battle went on, the more ridiculous the tempering of the masters of the laws became. At the same time, the longer the battle went on, the more true gods would occasionally die. Just like that, the true gods of the two great powers began to grow angry. Plus Luo Feng and the captain never appeared. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, half a month. 1 month, like the Origin Law Lord's army mission, it's already unbelievable that they have to obtain a true god corpse. I reckon the other 2 Origin Law Lords have already completed their mission and left. The warriors of the 2 powers gradually stopped caring about the true god corpses. Both our sides, even if we have to kill each other, even if we don't have the heart to protect the corpses, we can't let them take the corpses away. Both sides will each send a true god to collect the corpses. While collecting the corpses, no one is allowed to attack. How about that? A voice swiftly resounded. All right, let's do that. 9 Smoke Swamp and Xian Yu Mountain each chose a true god to collect their own corpses. Hua, hua. A completely red tribe true god became a beam of light and collected the corpses of the tribe's true gods. At this time, not a single beast true god from the 9 Smoke Swamp side attacked him. At the same time, a mutated beast true god with a long neck and 8 claws flew to collect the corpses of the mutated beast true god. Over 20 corpses of the mutated beast true gods were collected by this mutated beast true god in one go. No. Leave some behind. The leader and the other soldiers watched with burning eyes. They were all extremely anxious. Leader! Leader! The other soldiers were all anxious. They had already waited for close to 3 months. How tempted were they when they saw the true god corpses lying on the ground. However, under the leader's strict orders, they didn't do anything. Now the true god corpses had been taken away. The leader's gray eyes under his huge horns swept across the surrounding soldiers and shouted, "If you want to go, go by yourself. Earlier, they were intentionally luring us over. Now, they don't care about us, but the corpses have been taken away. Don't tell me you want to kill a true god? To kill a living true god, even if we work together, it will take a long time. During that time, we'll probably be surrounded by over 1,000 true gods." The other soldiers were all anxious and angry, but they didn't know what to do. Wait for an opportunity. The leader shouted, "After all, we have an entire epoch." Elsewhere, Luo Feng was staring at the long-necked scaled 8-clawed beast true god, paying attention to its every move. Because this beast true god had just collected a total of 26 true god corpses. 1 true god corpse, that's 10,000 military merit. 26 true god corpses, that's 260,000 military merits. Luo Feng's heart itched. He stared at the beast true god. This beast true god was arranged to collect the corpses precisely because its position isn't high enough. From its performance in the battle before, its strength is very average. It doesn't even seem to have a true god armor. No true god armor. A weaker true god? Luo Feng was moved. 8 million eras of training, his current strength. According to his judgment, to kill this weaker beast true god that didn't have a true god armor was very easy. However, he needed to spend some time, and this time was enough for the true gods to swiftly surround Luo Feng. Although he could rely on close combat to dodge and escape from the encirclement of several true gods, if it was the encirclement of dozens or even hundreds of true gods, Luo Feng could only rely on the tomb boat. If there were even more true gods, he was afraid that the tomb boat would not be able to escape. I have to wait for an opportunity. Luo Feng was staring at the 8-clawed beast true god. Even though no one attacked it when collecting the corpses. However, after collecting the corpses, it would still join the battle and fight normally. And its strength was weaker. Under Luo Feng's observation, he could gradually determine how much the beast true god's strength had dropped. I just need to drop another 20%. Its body is weak, With my current strength, if I go all out, I can definitely kill it in a short amount of time. Luo Feng stared hard at the eight-clawed beast true god, waiting for an opportunity to attack. Chapter 4 has arrived. That's all for today's update. Tomorrow, Tomato will take the bus back to Shanghai and the update will resume tomorrow night. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1388. While Luo Feng and the captain's two batches of soldiers were quietly waiting outside the True God battlefield for their chance to strike, the craziest battle in the entire Nine Smoke Swamp was definitely the battle between the overlords. This was an incomparably crazy battle, with large amounts of the weaker overlords falling. Xianyu Mountain and Nine Smoke Swamp naturally had over 10 million overlords, and up till now, over a third of them had already fallen. This was a form of training, a form of selection. After going through this training, the overlords that passed this terrifying selection, many would even swiftly break through to True God. That idiot Enhe. Still thinking of getting a True God corpse? Do you think it's that easy to get one? With a flick of his tail, Wu He quickly moved through the vast Nine Mist Swamp battlefield. Occasionally, he would roar madly as he charged towards the warriors of Mount Xuanyu's tribe. Kill! Kill these bastards of Xianyu Mountain! Wu He roared and shouted. Beside him were other beasts that roared along and went to kill the warriors of the tribes. After all, the Nine Smoke Swamp was simply too large, and there were simply too many masters of the laws. It was entirely possible for new masters of the laws to be born, and old masters of the laws to perish. Thus, for any master of the laws to be able to recognize 80% of the law masters of the Nine Smoke Swamp, it was already quite impressive. When they saw that Wu He was a beast, and that he was fighting alongside them against the warriors of the Xuanyu Mountain tribe, they simply treated him as a companion they didn't know. Kill, kill. Wu He was fighting madly, but whenever an exotic beast died in the surroundings, he would quickly collect the weapons and armor that the fallen exotic beasts had dropped. After killing for 3 months, I've only gotten 1,200 points. Wu He was anxious within. However, the battlefield was after all too huge. He could only collect the weapons and armors around him, and he still had to carefully avoid the many dangers. After all, the battlefield was chaotic. The moment he was careless, even he could fall. In another part of the vast Nine Smoke Swamp battlefield. Everyone be careful. Our strength is considered extremely strong even amongst the overlords. However, this is a battle between over 10 million overlords. Chu Luoyan and the other two weren't careful enough. We still lack a lot of points, we have to be careful. Kufa led a batch of soldiers within the battlefield. They all looked like tribal warriors, naturally disguised as Xianyu Mountain's side. Yes. Understood. We're still lacking a lot of military merit. The soldiers were extremely anxious. On the surface, that was the case. But in their hearts, these soldiers understood that if one of their companions died, then the weapons and armor of the Nine Smoke Swamp's mutated beasts would become theirs. The total number of weapons and armor they obtained from the 10 soldiers was just over 10,000. In any case, they would be able to exchange for more than 10,000 military merits, which would guarantee that at least one soldier would be able to pass this mission. The death of their companions was beneficial to them. However, no one was willing to die. Kufa's group of soldiers, Yuluo's group of soldiers, and Wu He's group were all doing their best to gather the weapons and armor of the Nine Misty Swamp on the battlefield of the Lawmasters. Of course, they could also mix in some of the weapons and armor of the experts of the Xuanyu Mountain to make up the numbers. As long as the army did not find any problems, it would be fine. But the Nine Smoke Swamp was too big. How many weapons and armors could each of the 3 batches get? It was destined that in this mission, most of them would either die on the battlefield or be punished by military law. Even so, they did not dare to go to the True God battlefield. At the edge of the True God battlefield, This battle had already lasted for close to 4 months. Luo Feng remained calm and waited for an opportunity. However, the captain and the other soldiers were in chaos. "Captain, you're always so afraid of this and that. The moment this battle is over, how will we have the chance to wantonly obtain military merits?" A skinny soldier dressed in dark gold armor communicated angrily, "Without military merits, we can only flee. However, if the army wants to kill us, even if we flee for a while, we won't be able to live for long. We have to earn military merits too." "Right, Captain, we can't go on like this. We want to live too. We want military merits too." A few of the soldiers were anxious, the others too looked anxiously at the captain. The cold eyes under the huge horns of the captain swept the surroundings. He understood that the group of soldiers under him were really anxious. He could not be anxious at all when he obtained the corpse of a true god, but the soldiers under him could not be as calm and at ease as he was. "Going to the true god battlefield now is suicide," the captain said coldly. "We know it's suicide, hence we won't go there. However, right now countless overlords are fighting, this is all military merit. As long as we have enough time, we can pick up large amounts of weapons and armors, we can definitely gather enough military merit. In the overlord battlefield, our chances of survival are very high." "Right, Captain. Let's go to the overlord battlefield." They all looked at the captain. The captain, however, laughed coldly. "Picking up weapons and armors for 10,000 military merits? How long would that take? If you want to go, just go, I won't stop you. However, at the crucial moment, I will use my communication card to contact you, telling you my coordinate. When that happens, you have to rush over immediately. Otherwise—" "Yes, Captain." "Understood, Captain. Captain, the moment you call, we'll rush over." "Captain, we'll head to the battlefield first. We'll listen to Captain's orders at any time." The soldiers immediately replied, after which they all swiftly slipped away. In a short while, the captain's subordinates were all gone. The captain shook his head and laughed coldly. In the face of death, they all look like they've been forced. These soldiers, the captain looked down on them. However, they were after all still soldiers of the Python River Army. If they worked together, they would still be able to unleash sufficient strength. If used well, they could easily complete some missions. Until the very last moment, he wouldn't easily abandon this batch of soldiers. Luo Feng and the captain were in 2 different areas of the true god battlefield, quietly entrenched, ready to reveal their venomous fangs at any time. Howl, the long-necked 8-clawed beast true god, its long and narrow head's single eye gleamed cunningly. It was roaming around the entire true god battlefield. Its strength had already dropped by quite a bit. For someone like him who didn't have a true god-level armor, he was a notch lower than those true gods who had joined the army. Usually, the small matters like sweeping the battlefield, patrolling, collecting their own corpses were left to these true gods to do. However, they understood that it was because their strength wasn't enough, hence they would train themselves. However, in such a huge battle, the moment they felt their strength drop by quite a bit, they would choose to dodge again and again. Damn it! The moment a true god dies, their weapons and armors will leave their bodies and be taken by the enemy that killed them. And I haven't even gotten a single one. The 8-clawed beast was furious within. True god armors and weapons were very precious. On the other hand, inferior armors and weapons were very common. The vast majority of the overlords had them. In the realm of Jin, even 100 or 1,000 peak-level supreme treasures would not be enough to exchange for a single supreme treasure. I must get a true god armor. Definitely. The 8-clawed beast true god roamed again and again, dodging and escaping, searching for an opportunity. If a true god with a true god armor fell, it would definitely work hard to snatch it. However, it was very hard for such a true god to fall. Even if they did, its chances of snatching it were very small, otherwise it wouldn't be without a true god armor by now. Roaming again and again. in different areas of the true god battlefield. If there aren't any other true gods, the captain was extremely anxious. If it's just this 8-clawed mutated beast, I would be able to kill it in a one-on-one battle with my mechanical treasures. However, this is a true god battlefield. It has already collected over 30 true god corpses from the 9 smoke swamps side. In another area, Luo Feng's eyes were calm as the ocean, silently locking onto the 8-clawed beast true god, simultaneously calculating their positions. Its strength has dropped by quite a bit. It doesn't have an absolute treasure armor to protect it. I have the confidence to kill it in a short amount of time. Luo Feng locked onto the position of the beast true god. As the 8-clawed beast moved, Luo Feng too began to move stealthily. His speed wasn't fast. To prevent any large ripples from being detected by the god energy, he slowly inched closer to the true god battlefield. His speed was extremely slow at this time. Luo Feng was extremely patient. It took them more than 3 days to get close to it. These 3 days of getting closer had allowed Luo Feng to enter the true god battlefield. Following closely behind, Luo Feng stopped and waited for the 8-clawed beast to approach. Wait for that moment to explode. Luo Feng continued to accumulate his energy. Just the 3 days of getting closer and waiting, Luo Feng's entire body's condition was constantly rising. His entire body's thoughts were erased from everything else. Everything was focused on one goal, using the fastest speed and shortest amount of time to kill this 8-clawed beast true god. This sort of absolute thought process, this naturally caused his potential to explode. Luo Feng had a strong desire to pull out his blade. Why was it that only during life and death battles could one break through? Because during life and death situations, life's instincts would naturally cause all thoughts to gather, exploding forth with terrifying potential. This was a terrifyingly dangerous situation. To kill a true god in a battlefield of over 10,000 true gods. How crazy was that? Because of that, Luo Feng's heart was burning with even more passion. Chance. Luo Feng's eyes were only focused on the 8-clawed beast true god that was roaming over. At this time, the 8-clawed beast true god was extremely cautious, not willing to fight with the strong true gods of Xianyu Mountain. At most, it would fight with the weaker tribe true gods. Slowly, it neared Luo Feng, and nearer Luo Feng, who was like a rock, suddenly lit up his dull eyes. His entire being exploded from a dead being. This is the moment. Luo Feng exploded. Rumble. His speed exploded and his god energy began to madly burn. Rumble. Annihilation Volume 1. Rumble. With an even stronger burn, Annihilation Volume 2. This was one of Luo Feng's 2 greatest gains from over 8 million eras, completing the Annihilation Volume 2. What? The 8-clawed beast true god that was roaming at the side and had been on high alert suddenly turned its long and narrow head. Its single eye looked behind in shock, only to see a huge blurry blade silhouette with an incomparably ferocious aura rushing over. If you like this work, please come to Qidien. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1389. It's him. The 8-clawed true god instantly recognized that the expert who had transformed into a gigantic blurry blade silhouette was the master of law who had stolen the true god's corpse. It's just an overlord. So what if he's good at close combat? His law comprehension foundation is there. No matter how strong his techniques are, they won't be that strong. The 8-clawed beast true god was extremely confident. He was shocked before, but once he confirmed it was an overlord, he wasn't worried anymore. He was right. The foundation determined the techniques. For a lord of the universe to be able to create a top-tier 6th-tier secret art was already inconceivable. Before Luo Feng, no one in the universe C had ever done it. Luo Feng had borrowed the inheritance space's help to create a level 6 pinnacle technique. Level 7 pinnacle? Over the generations of broken Dong He, all of them were incredible, yet only half of them were able to create it. Level 8? Over the generations of broken Dong He, only 2 were able to do it. However, to a real god, even an ordinary real god could create a top rank 7 secret skill or even rank 8 secret skill. And the super strong true gods, level 9 pinnacle? Level 10 pinnacle? They were all able to do it. This was the difference in foundation. With a higher foundation, naturally comprehension was much easier. This 8-clawed beast true god was after all a true god. The techniques he unleashed naturally wouldn't be weak. How greedy, actually wanting to attack me. He must have his eyes on the large amounts of true god bodies I collected. The 8-clawed beast true god was filled with anticipation. Ha ha, an overlord punk. He's so powerful. He's definitely a top elite in the army. He must have been given a true god armor. Who would have thought that my true god armor would be obtained from a law master? Rumble. The 8-clawed beast true god didn't flee, instead madly rushing forward. The huge blade silhouette and the huge beast whistled through the surrounding purple vines. The two clashed against each other. It's the Overlord. It's that absolute genius. That Overlord actually dares to come again? No matter how much of a genius he is, he's just an Overlord. In the distant battlefield, a small portion of the true gods had already noticed the blurry blade silhouette at the edge of the battlefield, recognizing it as the absolute genius that had stolen the body. Capture this genius. Kill him. Suddenly, a true god flew over. It was because they were clear that, when the army was training geniuses, void real gods were not allowed to interfere. However, real gods could totally take action. Even if a genius were to die, the genius could only blame himself for not being strong enough. For that group of true gods to fly here, they need 29 seconds. Luo Feng instantly confirmed. The true god-level battlefield was after all extremely vast, and the 8-clawed beast true god had always been wandering around the periphery, and Luo Feng's position was even more isolated. Even with the incomparably high speed of the Gene world, it would still take him 29 seconds to rush over. 29 seconds, finish it. Luo Feng's gaze focused on the 8-clawed beast true god. Haha, greedy law master, you actually didn't flee. With his ability to dodge, I can't catch up to him, but if he wants to fight me head-on, I must kill him as soon as possible. This is all thanks to me. The 8-clawed true god was also extremely excited, his single eye flashing with savagery. Boom, boom. The two huge figures finally crossed each other in an instant. When the 8-clawed beast true god roared and swung its front claw across the sky, clang. The blade clashed, and Luo Feng dodged it like a whirlwind. Dodging again. The 8-clawed true god roared in his heart, and his incomparably fast tail fiercely lashed out. The tail seemed to have no bones, like a soft whip, piercing through the air bit by bit, whistling as it turned into an arc and lashed towards Luo Feng. However, the moment the blurry blade clashed with the tail, Luo Feng actually stepped on the back of the 8-clawed true god. Although it seemed slow, the moment the two crossed each other, Luo Feng was already on the back of the 8-clawed true god. Hua! The blood shadow blade in Luo Feng's hand finally swung out. Slash! The blade's light was like water, faintly discernible, and instantly slashed towards the long neck of the 8-clawed true god. The true god fiercely turned its head back, opening its bloody mouth to reveal its fangs, and directly bit towards Luo Feng's blade. Boom! The originally wave-like blade's light instantly exploded, creating an incomparably terrifying penetrative force. Luo Feng's strongest blade technique. Light of water and fire. Ao Dong Duan River's precious energy source blood shadow blade. This slash contained a penetrative force, causing the 8-clawed true god to immediately howl in fear. Its single eye stared wide, and its heart was filled with shock and fear. Impossible, impossible, after his god energy combusts, how can it be even stronger than mine? I'm a true god, he's just an origin law lord. It was wrong. He was ridiculously wrong. Indeed, the eight-clawed true god's god energy was a level higher than Luo Feng's. However, as it had never joined the army before, it didn't know any special god energy combusting technique. And Luo Feng had only unleashed the first scroll of annihilation, and already made up for the difference in god energy. And the second scroll made Luo Feng surpass this true god. In terms of god energy combusting, Luo Feng was even stronger than it. His already heaven-defying close combat dodging was naturally even stronger. The eight-clawed true god's attacks were easily dodged or deflected by Luo Feng, but Luo Feng's attacks, the eight-clawed true god could only forcefully take it. Slash. Luo Feng was incomparably crazy. Maintaining the second scroll's combusting made Luo Feng's god energy madly deplete. Even if there were no true gods rushing over, he wouldn't be able to maintain this battle for long, hence he had to be quick. Luo Feng's entire soul seemed to be infused into the blood shadow blade in his hand. Fire and water. 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 The blade light that was like water brought with it a terrifying power. Even its power seemed to rise slightly. Under this limit, Luo Feng's comprehension of the blade was actually rising. However, at this time he couldn't notice all this. He only knew to use all his strength to kill the eight-clawed true god with the fastest speed. No. The eight-clawed true god was completely stunned. In an instant, over 100 blade lights slashed on its body, madly weakening it. It panicked. It was afraid. It wanted to flee. No. The eight-clawed true god no longer had any thoughts of killing Luo Feng. He couldn't be bothered to think about how this origin law lord had such strength. He only knew how to flee. However, against Luo Feng's close combat ghostly movements, even escaping was a luxury. It couldn't escape. Luo Feng was incomparably crazy. One could only see a blurry huge blade silhouette appear. His entire being seemed to become one with the blood shadow blade. That water-like blade lights rushed towards the eight-clawed true god. Every second there would be tens of thousands of blade lights howling over, madly destroying everything. This was a tornado that destroyed everything. It couldn't escape. It couldn't block. He was at a complete disadvantage. Stunned. It wasn't just the eight-clawed true god that was being attacked. Even the 10 true gods that were closest to Luo Feng were stunned. How can this be? It's fine if he's good at dodging, but his attacks, impossible. How can he be this strong? It has to be, his blade is definitely an automaton treasure, it has to be. At that moment, they couldn't accept it, that a true god could be defeated by an origin law lord in a head-on battle. They could only accept one explanation. That origin law lord used an automaton treasure, that blade was an automaton treasure. Through the mechanical core of the blade, it exploded with strength that far exceeded that of an origin law lord's. It has to be like that. And in the distance of the true god battlefield, the captain who had been silently hiding stared wide-eyed, shocked at everything before him. Before, when he saw Luo Feng rush out, he shook his head within, thinking that this recruit he was too stupid and arrogant, underestimating the true god's strength. After all, even if he, the captain, relied on his automaton treasure to kill that true god, the time he wasted would definitely be surrounded by the other true gods. He's dead for sure. The captain was certain then. However, at this time, how? The captain felt his mind go blank. How could a recruit be so strong enough to suppress a true god? Absolute suppression. Even if it was a normal true god, it shouldn't be this ridiculous. It has to be an automaton treasure. Before he joined the army, he already had an automaton treasure on him. His blade is an automaton treasure. The captain immediately confirmed, it has to be like that, it has to be. That blade must have raised his strength by a few levels, that's why he can completely suppress that beast true god. At this moment, although the entire true god battlefield was filled with intense slaughter, more than 1,000 true gods were paying attention to the battle that was taking place at the very edge of the battlefield. On one side was a very ordinary 8-clawed beast true god, while on the other side was a mere master of the laws. However, the truth was, the Origin Law Lord was killing the true god without a chance to retaliate. That blade, it has to be an automaton treasure. It has to be. Almost everyone was certain. The Blood Shadow Blade was an elemental treasure. It was incomparably precious. However, it didn't raise its strength by a few levels like they thought. It only raised Luo Feng's attack by 1 level. The reason why Luo Feng was so strong was mainly because of his close combat, the first 2 scrolls of annihilation, and his comprehension of fire and water. Waves of blade lights madly attacked the 8-clawed beast true god, and the blade lights were getting more and more perfect. Under the endless blade lights, the 8-clawed beast's resistance was getting weaker and weaker. No, the 8-clawed true god suddenly had a feeling that this time, he was truly going to die. "I'm the true god," the 8-clawed beast roared within. Rumble, 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 endless blade lights engulfed the beast. The 8-clawed beast god's aura finally vanished. Its life core was destroyed and its armor and other items swiftly fell off. Luo Feng swiftly waved his hand and kept the 8-clawed beast god, along with the items that fell off. So, Luo Feng immediately became a beam of light and fled into the distance, where the battle was before. Even though many purple vines were left floating in the swamp, there were no longer any traces. The true god was dead. The Origin Law Lord had won, and over 30 corpses of the beast true god were in his hands. Chase him and take back the corpses of my 9 Smoke Zay brothers. In the distant true god battlefield, a powerful mutated beast true god with 3 golden horns roared angrily. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1390. Chase him. Catch him. The beast true gods were all incomparably enraged. Even the true gods of Xuanyu Mountain were astonished. A master of laws had actually killed a true god in such a short period of time. This was simply inconceivable. Fortunately, the Master of Laws had only taken the corpse of the true god of the 9 Smoke Swamp. Their Xuanyu Mountain was in no hurry. However, the 9 Smoke Swamp side was panicking. The bodies of our 9 Smoke Swamp brothers, over 30 of them, we have to get them back, we have to get them back. The 3 golden-horned beast god roared. Get them back. Get them back. Thousands of mutated beast true gods roared. After all, there were only so many true gods in the 9 Smoke Swamp, and they were all very familiar with each other. Among the 30 or so true god corpses, perhaps some of them were brothers who had been extremely close to each other. Dying on the battlefield was the fate of experts, but the corpses would still be given a proper burial after the battle. However, now, over 30 of their brothers' bodies had been taken, and it was done by an overlord. How could they take this lying down? Baku, you lead a team to capture that overlord, and take back the bodies of our 9 Smoke Swamp brothers. The 3 golden-horned beast god roared. I'll definitely capture him. Rumble! High up in the sky, beams of light swiftly flew towards the direction Luo Feng fled in. A total of 50 beams of light tore through the sky. They really value me. Luo Feng had already been quietly changing directions within the 9 Smoke Swamp, his speed slowing down, not causing any ripples, constantly leaving the true god battlefield. Because of Luo Feng's change in direction, it also caused the 50 true gods to be chasing in the wrong direction. A total of 50 true gods are here to capture me. They're not those half-baked true gods from before. These 50 true gods, most of them have true god armors on them. Even though Luo Feng was confident, he didn't dare be surrounded by these 50 true gods. After all, there were a total of 50 true gods. Moreover, the true gods of the world of Jin were generally stronger than those of the cosmic sea. Plus, in the world of Jin, Their godly powers were not suppressed, and their strength was twice as strong. Even the ordinary eight-clawed beast true god had a secret technique that was barely at the 8th level, and its strength was barely at the 9th level. When it fought Luo Feng earlier, it was already injured, and its strength could only be considered at the pinnacle of the 8th level. He didn't even have a true god armor protecting him. He was forcefully hacked to death by Luo Feng. If I were to be surrounded by these 50 people, I'm afraid it would be scarier than being besieged by 500 real gods in the cosmic sea. Even if I ride the tomb boat, I don't have full confidence in escaping. Luo Feng didn't dare to be careless. Whoosh! He stealthily turned around, constantly changing his direction without any pattern as he headed towards the outskirts of the Nine Smoke Swamp. The battle between the Nine Smoke Swamp and Xian Yushan involved too many experts. Both sides had over 10,000 true gods fighting. The Nine Smoke Swamp sent out 50 true gods to capture Luo Feng. It didn't affect the Nine Smoke Swamp's overall strength. At the edge of the true god battlefield, whoosh! The captain was swiftly retreating. The Nine Smoke Swamp's 50 true gods are currently chasing recruit In He. They'd better not catch him and end up chasing me. As his location was the exact opposite of Luo Feng's, the captain didn't meet with any danger. After spending a few days, he quietly returned to the battlefield of the overlords. Only then did he calm down and began to disguise himself as a Xian Yu mountain warrior, blending into the vast and chaotic army that was slaughtering each other. This recruit In He is actually this strong. The captain blended into the army while recalling the scene of Luo Feng killing the true gods. He's too strong. I have to use my mechanical treasures to have the strength to fight him. Over 30 true god corpses, just how much battle points would that be? I can exchange for another mechanical treasure. If I can get another mechanical treasure, even if it's a Samsara level mission, I have confidence in passing it. When that time comes, I can safely train in the army. When I become a true god, I'll be able to obtain even more profound inheritances and become even stronger. The captain's gray eyes gleamed with greed. He wanted those corpses. How do I get them? The captain thought and thought of an idea. Everyone. The captain immediately used the communication token to send a message to the 17 soldiers under his command. Captain. Captain. Captain, what orders do you have? Captain. All of them replied. The captain continued, a few days ago, the Nine Smoke Swamp's group of true gods that specialized in collecting corpses was killed by another true god on the battlefield. At the crucial moment, that recruit In He suddenly appeared. He stole the corpse of that 8-clawed beast true god. After that, he managed to escape by sheer luck. What? He acquired the 8-clawed beast true god's corpse. That beast that collected the corpse? All of the soldiers were shocked. The team leader immediately replied, yes, it's that mutated beast true god. Recruit In He took away the corpse, and at the same time, she took away the treasures that the mutated beast true god dropped. Naturally, this included the treasures that contained a large number of true god corpses. This exotic beast real god had collected more than 30 real god corpses. Now everything is with recruit In He. The 17 soldiers scattered across the battlefield of the Nine Smoke Swamp's Master of Laws were all excited. Over 30 true god corpses. What a huge amount of military merit. The true gods of the Nine Smoke Swamp are furious. There are 50 true gods searching for recruit In He all over the battlefield. The captain continued, they want to capture In He. I saw it too. There were many beast true gods. I was confused. Why would there be beast true gods flying around the battlefield and not fighting? I saw it too. I saw many beast true gods yesterday too. The soldiers replied one by one. The captain said, the beast true gods are still flying around. They obviously haven't captured recruit In He. And now, the entire Nine Smoke Swamp is completely isolated from the outside world by a void real god. Recruit Een He is definitely within the Nine Smoke Swamp. He is clearly within the Nine Smoke Swamp, but those exotic beast real gods are unable to find him. In that case, there is only one possibility. He is mixed in with the army of Xuanyu Mountain. Right, he's definitely in Xuanyu Mountain's army. Xuanyu Mountain and the Nine Smoke Swamp are enemies. If he's in Xuanyu Mountain's army, the beast true gods of the Nine Smoke Swamp won't dare to barge into the army. True gods were strong. But with over 10,000 or more masters of laws gathered together, even a true god wouldn't dare to barge in. Everyone, the captain said, the beast true gods can't enter Xuanyu Mountain's army, but we can. Let's split up and search. Once we find Recruit Een He, inform the other soldiers. We'll gather quickly and use the combined technique to fight against him. We don't have the confidence to kill Recruit Een He, right? Recruit Een He is very strong. The soldiers replied one by one. The captain said, I know. It's hard to kill him. But he's afraid of being exposed. As long as we threaten him, force him to hand over half of the true god corpses, he can keep a small portion. If he doesn't and the beast true gods know where he is, he's dead. Right, it's hard for us to gather enough military merit. We'll die either way, so we might as well threaten him. Drag him down with us. He'll definitely hand it over. He has so many true god corpses, I only need one. Force him to hand it over. The soldiers were all filled with desire. The captain's eyes gleamed coldly as he sent the message through his communication card. Everything was as he expected. He didn't even say it was Recruit Een He who killed the beast true god head-on. Even if he didn't say it, the 17 soldiers under him naturally had high morale and weren't afraid of Luo Feng at all. Even though Recruit Een He is strong, those soldiers all have true god armors on them. It won't be easy to kill them. The captain thought, they know I'm probably using them. However, for the army mission, they'll still fight. No matter what, most of these true god corpses will belong to me. The captain's eyes gleamed with madness. He originally wanted to befriend Luo Feng. However, after seeing the temptation of the huge amount of merit points, he chose another path. After all, one's own strength was the greatest guarantee of survival. Can't find him. That Law Lord has vanished. I can't find him at all. The beast true gods were scattered throughout the Nine Smoky Swamp battlefield, swiftly searching. He must be hiding in Xuanyu Mountain's army. He must be mixed in with the large number of Law Lords. He must be. These beast true gods all guessed this. However, even though they knew this, they didn't dare charge into the large numbers of Law Lord armies. Whether it was the beast true gods or the captain and the other soldiers, they all guessed that Luo Feng was within Xuanyu Mountain's army. And the truth was indeed so. Hiding anywhere else would have the risk of being discovered. And here, even though they know I'm here, the beast true gods don't dare barge in. The vast numbers of warriors around roared, fighting against the large numbers of beasts. Luo Feng was one of the tens of thousands of warriors. It may seem like there was no order to the fighting. However, if a true god dared to charge in, if a beast true god charged in, all the warriors would combine their attacks and sweep over. If a tribe true god charged in, then all the Law Lord beasts would combine their attacks and sweep over. This was a hidden rule. The Law Lords could have a fair battle. If a true god dared to come, then don't blame them for combining their attacks. Nine Smoky Swamp, there are many such large groups of warriors gathered in the battlefield. The beast true gods obviously guessed that I'm in one of them, but they don't dare investigate. The moment the battle ends, I'll immediately leave the swamp and swiftly leave. Luo Feng endured the days. 1 month passed and another month passed. In the blink of an eye, Luo Feng had been mixed in with the Xuanyu Mountain army for over 3 months. With Luo Feng's strength, it was naturally extremely easy for him to be in the army. Just as Luo Feng was enjoying his days, waiting to leave, kill the 9 Smoky Swamp bastards. Luo Feng's body was tall and sturdy, His messy hair was like a wild man. He roared as he charged through the skies with the other warriors. Suddenly his speed slowed. Luo Feng's gaze swept. In the distance there was a warrior looking over, he. That warrior smiled, his mouth moving. Even though he didn't make a sound, Luo Feng understood what he meant. It's one of the captains from the 3 small groups. Luo Feng immediately recognized. This was the second watch, there was still the third watch today. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation.